And welcome back to Uncanny Adventures. We're playing today Wrath of Waterdeep. We played our first session of this 2 weeks ago, and our intrepid party of heroes ventured into the Dock Ward of Waterdeep that had been quarantined by some kind of strange plague that was happening. And since the guards and the watch could not figure out what exactly was happening with it, they decided to close the district until they could solve this. So our heroes, for various reasons, volunteered to enter the district, escorted by one Bonaparte Locks from the watch, and they were supposed to find a contact who supposedly had information on the plague and how to stop it, possibly. They ventured into the district. They saw for themselves firsthand what is going on with all these people who are gaining rat-like features and people who are disappearing while the rat population is seeming to grow exponentially. And eventually they found their contact who had been murdered. There was plenty of evidence left behind at the scene, and so now the adventurers are trying to track down what exactly happened to Captain Brisby, what is going on with this plague, and as some of them now seem to be afflicted, how to solve it before it's too late. So we're going to go around real quick and let everybody reintroduce you to our adventuring party. So we are going to start with Dylan. Why don't you reintroduce your character for us?
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm playing Kurayami. She is mechanically a Firbolg, but flavor-wise, a Tiefling with Oni ancestry, and she is a Order of the Immortal Mystic.
All right, and then we've got Genli. Why don't you tell us about Kalax?
Hello, folks. I'm Genli. I'm playing Kalax, a Half-Orc Paladin. He's now fighting for the god Tempus, but he hasn't chosen his oath yet. But yeah, we'll see what happens with him today.
All right, and then we have Claraefina.
Hi, I'm Claraefina. Claraefina is a little bit like a, I guess, book-smart druid. She loves a mystery. She loves investigation. She loves helping people. She loves it so much that she uses spells on anyone she finds who might need some healing. But yeah, generally, she just believes in discovering mysteries.
All right, and then we have Patience.
Hey everybody, Patience here. Tiefling boy, not very patient, and he's a Warlock Celestial. Or Celestial Warlock? I don't know which way that would go. Anyway, he's got his name in Celestial on his forehead, almost like a Harry Potter curse, at least for him. And yeah, he likes to get knocked out a lot, I guess.
Very good, and then we have Sunspot.
Hello, I'm Jamey. I'll be playing Sunspot. He is a Wood Elf monk, and we're not at the right level, but he's going to be a Sun Soul monk when he grows up. And he liked to get knocked out in the first fight, but then redeemed himself in the second fight. And he's the one who's carrying on Lox's honor by wearing his hat.
This is true. Yes. So, in our last session, yes, the party's guide into the Dock District Locks. He was unfortunately disintegrated when the group ran afoul of the one, the only Bazanathar and some of his crew. And we missed Locks terribly, but the party carries on, and they're going to try to solve this for him. So, where we find ourselves at the end of last session, the group had finished off these strange, robed, masked figures in this lower cellar of the doctor's office they went to. They had also captured the receptionist / assassin, Joy, who is now despondently being held and waiting and getting impatient as the party has decided to sort of hunker down and rest for a little bit and regroup themselves, give their friends a chance to wake up. So she just pulls out a little emery board and she's doing her nails and waiting.
That's such a joy thing. That's such a joy thing.
And as the party starts to, those that are unconscious kind of start to wake up, you've had your wounds kind of patched by your friends. You also found some evidence in the area. You found a cipher wheel. You found some clippings on the desk and things like that. So while some people have been recovering, others have been madly trying to solve this little puzzle they've discovered. But just as a short rest is coming to a break, you hear a disembodied voice, a familiar voice. If there were a bright side to that basement, it had been hidden under a whole mess of dark. There were the beakers full of bubble and sludge. There were the rats in the cages. And there were those 6 jokers that they took out. And they took their beak masks off and tossed them aside. Things hadn't been looking so good. But they came out swinging. And they came out ahead. As you guys all look around.
Fox, is that you?
What?
I'm not giving the hat back.
So, what do you guys want to do as you now come to the end of your short rest?
Do we see where this voice is coming from?
No, it's just you hear it kind of voiced over, and then it's gone.
His conscience now. Is he going to follow us?
She had all those notes for every game. She wouldn't throw them away. Come on. Anyway.
You hear the voice and look over and you see Sunspot's mouth moving because the hat's possessing him.
So yeah, I see all these letters of the alphabet, and you know that feeling when you know the letters of an alphabet, but you still can't read it. Except it's not a feeling; it's exactly what's happening to me. So and then he handed them over to you guys, and he says, "Well, So yeah, for those who are now awake, and we have some tools here, and if you want to see them, and while maybe some of the other us we get to kill Joy, maybe then no.
What? Excuse me?
I mean, she's not useful anymore, is she?
Oh, I'm so useful. I am extremely useful. I have skills, you know. Like, I'm not just all about sitting behind a desk.
Name 3.
And which is why you had to be killed.
Well, I mean, that's just some of my skills. I mean, I haven't even shown you my resume yet, all right?
Do you have a copy?
Yeah, do you have it?
I mean, I can go right upstairs and get it out of the desk and just give.
No.
Maybe when we leave, you can get it.
If you're gonna leave with us.
No.
Ow, my head. So after the short rest, am I at 1 HP?
No, you can use your hit dice for the short rest.
Okay, let me do that real quick.
Okay.
So I feel like there was something we wanted to ask Joy that we hadn't yet. Did we ask her exactly what was happening? Did we ask her where the doctor was? Doctor, what's his name?
We did not.
Dr. Ward. Dr. Ward. Joy.
Yes? What?
Where is Dr. Ward?
The doctor's busy.
Yes, you keep saying that. But what with? Where is he? Where is he busy?
Well, I mean, I don't keep track of where the doctor's at. I just do the books and I just, take the appointments and such.
Okay. Here's your appointment book. Which appointment is he at?
I don't know. He's probably at a house call. There's a lot of people sick right now.
Okay. I would like to go up the stairs and see if I can find her appointment book.
Okay. So you go back up to the reception area?
Yeah.
While she's busy doing that thing, the talking, getting information, that weird thing people do.
Yeah.
Patience doesn't have patience for that. So he goes over to the rat cages
Mm-hmm.
and he casts Speak to the Animal on himself. He goes, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Like, get us out. We're so sick. Get us out of here.
Yeah. I'll do that. Have you noticed anything like weird going on in here? You're getting caged up. I'm gonna let you out regardless, so you might as well just tell me.
The gold-toothed rat's like, I was a man not more than a day ago, now I'm a rat. Get me out of this freaking cage, would you? Make me a man again.
I don't think it's my job. I'm not in the red district in Waterdeep, but I could possibly let you out.
Well, then at least that's something. Open the cage door, Sonny, and let us out.
Do you know who she is and this doctor or whatever? Because I just literally woke up in this cave and I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, Kurayami will hold the paper and say, they were turning people into rats, it looks like. Criminals.
I just walked over to the cages and I'm just like making rat squeaking noises.
Yeah,
Oh, I can understand. So,
Sunspot's just staring just here like, just like, what the?
The gold-toothed rat's like, I ain't no criminal. You gotta prove that first. Just get me out of this cage. I'm not made for cages.
You're a criminal? What?
No, what? I said not the criminal. No, I'm not a criminal, man.
I don't know how a criminal what the not has to do with making criminals, but so you have no idea where this doctor's at.
No, the doctor, these guys in the funny mask has been around for a while, but the doctor's been gone for a long time now.
Oh, okay. He lets them out if he can.
Do you want to just make me, do you want to try to pop open the cage with, like, do you have thieves' tools or something?
I have a few daggers, if I can just, like, wedge them or something.
I'll let you try to make a dexterity check with the dagger.
Okay, I'm going to use sleight of hand just because I have no modifiers anyway.
Yeah, so you don't exactly pick up it, but the lock's cheap enough that you kind of pop it and break it. And the little rat's like, yes, that's right. Open up the cage and I'll get out of here.
Scurry on, you little rats.
enjoy your life as rats, I guess.
Apparently this rat was a person or something?
Oh, yes, they are.
A rat.
Yeah, they're all people.
I say that in common to everybody. I'm like, so how did we end up in this cave? Like, I remember, like, these crowhead dudes, and that was really awesome. And then just, like, I woke up on the ground.
Oh, they're over there. And Sunspot's going to point to all the dead bodies just laying around.
Oh, cool. Who's this Joy lady? She seems annoying. She talks too much. We should probably get rid of her.
What? I'm like, have a job to do.
Yeah, we're gonna kill her.
Oh no! I'm gonna lean down. I'm gonna grab Joy by the sides of her face and be like, "No, look at her. She's adorable."
I'm absolutely cute. I'm absolutely adorable, just like she says.
Patience looks like he was possibly considering killing her, and then he like winces in pain and is like, nah, maybe we should knock her out.
I can do that.
I mean, you could just kindly ask me to like accompany you, and like, I mean, I'm a friendly person. That is why I work in customer service. I am the face of this establishment.
Asking takes too long, and he smacks her in the head.
While this all is happening, have I found the appointment book yet, or anything resembling one?
You can make me an investigation check for upstairs.
All right, investigation.
And during this whole time, Sunspot's at the desk figuring out the cipher.
All right, so let's see.
Oh, hey guys, I totally forgot I can talk to you.
19.
Nice.
All right, so
Good first roll of the day, I think.
so you do not find any sign of any kind of appointment book upstairs. Like, there is nothing that shows that she even keeps one up there.
Are there any pieces of paper?
There's like a notepad with like Dr. Ward's apothecary on the bottom, and it's got like scribbles. Like, she sits in like doodles all day. And meanwhile, downstairs you hear a thud as Patience has beamed Joy over the head, and her previous injuries have left her unconscious.
Right, I rush back down because I think the dude's getting attacked again, and I nearly fall down the stairs. I go, everything all right?
Yeah, really.
I'm like, yeah, and you just see like the quarterstaff, and it's like bloodied on one end, and she's just like unconscious, tied up.
Okay, I can understand that. Is there anything else down here?
No, you guys kind of picked this place over, so you found the cipher wheel and the extra notes and stuff.
So how did these cultists, I suppose, how did they get into this room? Did they come in through the same letter that we did, or is there like another entrance?
Make an investigation check.
All right. 10.
Yeah, looking around, you think that they came coming in out the same way that you did.
All right. Hey, they came in the same way we did.
Sunspot's gonna
did
cook his
they-
head up. Hey, I think I figured it out.
Ooh.
No, good.
Figured what out?
Oh, we
There's
found
someone
these
with-
clippings with like little code in it, and that's why I've been sitting here with my little pen all. Yeah. Anyway, so
Why do we do like the code thing? That I never get why people do that. It's just a waste of time. If you want somebody not to figure out something, just don't tell them.
or don't leave the cipher sitting around. I mean, we found.
No, that's true. You shouldn't do that. That's just
All right. So, and then I remembered, because I'm smart, that the newspaper clipping we found also had one of these in it. So I think if I put these messages in the correct order, which I think this is the order, we have the first one says, "I wish for the day our love is not hidden." The second one states, "Saw a hat today and thought of you." Don't know what that means.
How do I?
Third is, "It wasn't me. Why can't you see it?" And then the one from the newspaper says, "I will never forgive you. This is war."
Uh-oh.
Okay, everything just
Now,
clicked into
we
place on that one.
We were, remember there was like the Lady of the Plagues and then the rat dude. And
Yeah.
I wonder if they were like,
Oh,
and now they're,
oh,
Do you think that had anything to do with
man.
that that wax guy or whatever? And I pointed.
I mean, there
locks.
was also that whole thing about there being some druids involved, from what I remember.
I think we're in the middle of a turf war. And all these, oh, kitty.
Sorry, I love the cat behind you.
I think we're kind of stuck in a turf war, and this whole city's kind of turning into rats.
It's a battleground.
Seems that way.
But who's turning them into rats? The lady of the healer lady or the other ones?
Well, this other letter says "Milady," and then says, "Here are some more people for surgery," and lists a whole bunch of people. So I wonder who this Milady is.
I think Joy's involved. I think Joy's dodgy.
So we should just kill her.
I mean, she's right there.
It was the lady of the plague. That's the one.
Kurayami grabs unconscious Joy and just like cradles her. Mine.
Yeah, I don't think we should kill her, even
That's
if she is responsible. I feel we need to figure out more. So,
Indeed.
how about this? So, we were originally going to go to this other place as well, which was something
The Holdings.
Holdings. Yes, Harbour Holdings. How about we go there? We've been refreshed now. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, sure.
I follow her.
So that's what it says. Once he's gonna go over to like a couple of the people and take the masks off just to kind of see who's underneath. Like he doesn't know anybody in this town, but just kind of
They
looking.
look like rats. Rat creatures on
So you pull the masks off, and they don't look like rats. They're like just a bunch of humans, like 2 females and 4 males, just pretty much nondescript besides that.
How big are these masks?
How big are they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like for a medium-sized creature, it's like that the nose kind of extends out on them like the regular plague doctors.
Well,
Do they, like the real plague doctor masks, have like herbs and other things that are part of the mask to help prevent from like disease and stuff? That's what they're like the original gas masks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
He's gonna take the mask of the one whose heart he stopped and put it into his little pack as a souvenir.
You guys. And then I look back and I see this huge tail, this huge like rat tail. Should we now please go to this other place and solve all this? Because I do not want to turn into a rat.
That's understandable.
I feel like maybe we should take, because they're wearing robes as well, right? Robes and masks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should take a few of them with us in case we need to dress up and sneak in somewhere or pretend that we're them.
That's smart.
What color are these? Are they just like black robes?
Yeah, they're like a little bit of a like more dark gray, and then with a little bit of a hood to go up over to cover the mask.
Yeah, so Claraefina is going to take a mask and a rope as well so that she can, if needs be.
Patience takes one of the ropes that possibly could fit him, just because he thinks it might look cool and dramatic when he turns around and stuff.
All right, so as you guys are getting ready to head out, I would like you all to make me Constitution saving throws.
Uh-oh.
Hooray.
We're rats. But we're around the plague.
Constitution.
Oof. Ooh, rough. This is rough.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh,
All right, so I would like both Kalax and Claraefina to roll me a d6, please.
Oh, they're turning more ratty.
Well,
Is 6 good or bad?
Let's find out.
Usually it's bad.
I mean, we have both opposites here.
oh my god.
You get more whiskers, like they just start growing
I
everywhere.
can get a pen out and draw some more.
I mean, if you can't talk, you can only speak in rat. At least 2 of the party members can talk to you.
exactly. Yeah.
So as you guys are leaving, you notice in the light, Kalax's eyes take on this sort of beady, like yellowish hue, and you realize that they have changed, and they look more rat-like. And you, as Claraefina turns and starts to lead the way out, you notice that she too has grown a tail.
I get a tail.
You do,
That's
in fact, get a tail.
Hey, are you a tiefling?
So,
As I point out the tail.
well, I also have a tail. So, we both have tails now. That's
Hey!
we match now.
What a tale this will be.
Rats can't control their tails, can they? So I can't like swish my tail about, can I?
I think they can.
I think they can.
Oh, can I use it as a weapon?
Try.
Can I use it as a weapon?
Yeah, Kalax gets a trip attack now.
Oh, jeez.
Sunspot's gonna walk over to Patience and go, "Team not a rat yet."
He puts his hand up.
High five.
I'm not a rat either. I just have long fingers.
Sure.
Well, I have 2 out of 6 rat stuff, so yeah, we should be careful on that one. From
Claraefina is
if I have like 6 out of 6, then I'm probably like a full rat by then.
Yeah.
Probably.
So Claraefina is going to start twirling her whiskers a little.
Okay.
Oh.
So as you're leaving, you notice this happen. You guys start to maybe make a little more haste toward the holdings company, Harbor Holdings.
I was gonna say, are we gonna bring Joy with us?
Hell yeah. Come bring her.
Put her back in the cage.
Does Joy count as an improvised weapon?
I mean, we'll find out when you get in the fight.
Excellent.
Patience is going to swing her about.
All right, so you guys make your way to Harbor Holdings, which is pretty close by, actually. It's literally like just down the street on Coinpenny Alley. So you all make your way there, and as you come around the corner, and you sort of are walking down the street toward it, you can see this building, and it's got sort of this like splash of pink painted on the outside, and then as you get a little closer, you hear this voice, and you hear, "Harbor Holdings was a slice of sunshine in a dreary neighborhood. Its face sported a fresh splash of pink paint, though it seemed someone had colored outside the lines and missed most of the building. It reminded them of something Mara once said, I think. The cheaper the joint, the louder the decoration." As you guys hear this disembodied voice.
Sunspot, are you okay?
What? Huh? What? Why wouldn't I be okay?
I don't know. Can I see the hat? It's really cool.
No, my hat.
I'm gonna lean up to Sunspot and like open his eyes. I'm gonna look it right into them and be like, "Is it like possession? Is it like
Okay.
clear
Jeanette,
audience? What is this?"
You didn't see, but he was mouthing as you
Oh,
were
I saw.
talking.
Can I do an Arcana check on the hat?
Sunspot's gonna look at Kurayami and go, and then I saw as her face drew closer to mine and she stared deeper into my eyes.
Whoa.
I would like to do an Arcana check with a 14, please, on the hat.
You kind of take a look at the hat, and you don't notice anything particularly magical about the hat.
All
I
right.
don't know. There's something weird about that hat, guys. I have a bad feeling about the hat.
I remember hearing about a hat that somebody put on a snowman and it came to life.
What's a snowman?
You take snow and you make it into a man.
I mean, there's also that magical school somewhere where they put a hat on and it decides which house they go in. So, I mean, hats can be dodgy.
I heard about a hat that whoever put it on got eaten by something. It was pretty bad.
Guys.
Yeah?
Doyle,
I heard about a hat that looks really cool on me.
guys. I don't want to sound impatient,
I
but
heard about this explorer who's got a really cool hat.
And I believe
That's
it.
not a hat. Let's get back to work.
So you all enter the reception area, finishing your conversation about hats. And you enter into, well, it's a nice reception area, kind of simple. There's some potted plants and a pair of gaudy-looking sofas. Across the way, on the opposite wall, you can see an iron doorway. Sitting on either side of it are two male gnomes who look exactly alike, and they sort of eye you all up and down as you come in. As the door kind of clicks shut behind you, from out of that iron doorway, you see this little elderly gnome woman with a cane, and she's clicking her way across the floor toward you all. And she stops kind of just in front of you. She's like, "Oh, hello. How can I help you today? Welcome to Harbor Holdings. I am Snitsy.
are you the lady?
I am, in fact, a lady, sir. How can I help you today?"
Okay.
We're here for the meeting with the lady or something?
Why are we there? I can't remember.
I forgot.
We saw the HH on something.
You found a
It was
piece of...
ad in a newspaper or something.
I had a newspaper.
Yes, and you found in Captain Brisby's house.
Yeah.
You found a piece of paper on the captain. Let's see. I believe it was Sunspot who was checking him over.
It was Circle. I found it now in the docks. Oh no, that's up. Valuables burning a hole in your pocket. Stash them in a safety local owned bank. Yeah.
Yep. So you found a note on the body of Captain Brisby that had a HH at the top and the numbers 908 scribbled on it.
90. That's right. Okay.
I found that. That's right.
That is.
Hi. Would you like to look in our locker, please?
Oh, yes, indeed. And what the name and the locker number, please?
Well, it is Brisby, and the number is HH908.
Oh, yes. She looks up at Kurayami, who is significantly tall, and says, "Hello, Captain. It's been so long since you last visited us, my friend. Yes, we can in fact show you to your lockbox." And then you hear from behind her, "Hey, Ma. I don't really remember what the captain looked like, but I don't think that's... Oh, son, shush, 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 shush. There's customers. Be quiet now. So yes, why don't you all follow me back to the back and I will get your box for you." And she starts clinking back across the floor. And you guys can follow her back through the iron gate into this back room that's got all these various lock boxes and things. And she says, all right. Well, of course, Captain, you will have to answer the questions you left before you can access your box.
Yes, of course.
All right, then here, let me give you the, here are the security questions for you. And you guys, oops, hang on. You guys can look, I gave you the wrong one first, but that's fine. You can look at that one.
Oh, good lord.
Let's see.
Oh.
Oh, it's easy.
We found
I got this.
Oh, I mean, we are, of course, in front of... Can we, as a group, community, step a bit back from Kurayami to confer amongst us and then... Or something. I don't know.
So the little old lady is standing, right there on the other side of the table. She hands this the puzzles over. The two twin gnomes kind of have followed to the edge of the door and are standing on either side of the door, sort of watching you all.
Kurayami, I think you've forgotten your glasses, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, I think we might have dropped them outside. Do you mind if we come back in a few minutes? Sorry, he can't see without his glasses.
Do you want to make me a deception check?
Oh God.
I will assist.
Can I assist by like bumping into something?
Can I super secretly cast like Druidcraft in the other corner of the room to distract even further?
So, I will let you do a sleight of hand to try and Druidcraft without the gnomes noticing, because the two at the door are watching you guys. The little old woman doesn't seem to notice the movement, so she probably isn't paying attention to your spells. But I will, for the deception, if Kurayami decides to bump into something, give an advantage on it.
Okay, so sleight of hand first, I guess. +3.
So what are you crafting over in the corner?
Okay, so I would like to just a gust of wind. Like, is there a door behind there or something?
There's like other, like, she opened up like a area to pull your box out of, so there's like the little doors that is now kind of hanging open where the box was.
So like a gust of wind that just goes across to sort of have them clutter a little.
All right, so the door like clanks against it, like the wind hits it. The little woman's like, oh, and you see the two gnomes kind of look over to see what.
And then for deception with advantage, yes. Deception is a +1. It's gonna go badly. Oh, I just did that wrong. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna go badly.
So the old woman's like, oh, I understand the needing of glasses, and the two gnomes kind of move forward towards you, and they're like, well, we think there's something up with this. That I don't remember the captain being a girl. The captain, Mr. Captain Brisby, wasn't he a man? And they
So a girl can't be a captain, is that it?
No, but you're not the captain,
Mr. Gnome.
You're not the captain that was here. You're trying to, you don't need to take advantage of our mother.
Some men tend to sometimes also dress as women. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Patience.
Yes, it is from my tribe.
Patience being really unwise and not perceptive. It's like, wait, you're a captain?
Yeah.
So I want Kalax, make me a persuasion check with advantage for Patience's like naivete.
This is gonna sound good. Just a sec. I've closed my.
In case this all fails, I'm working on getting the security questions down.
No, I've already got the first one. It's fine.
I'm trying to find the second one. I know what it is. I just can't find it.
So these two gnome brothers, like the twins, are moving forward. They look like they're getting threatening. And then Kalax is like, hey, the captain can dress however he or she wants to. You don't get to decide. And the old woman, like, steps forward and bats them both with the cane. And she goes, that's right. Don't you bother the customers, sons. You better stand by that door and do what you're supposed to. What if somebody came through the front door and you're back here making trouble? Go. And she's like swatting them in the back of the heels with her cane. So they move back to the door. They kind of stand just inside of it, looking very sullen. And then the woman, Snixie, turns back around. She's like, so, Captain, the answers to the questions, please. And she, like, adjusts the paper so it's upside, like, down to you. And she just was like she thinks she did it well.
Oh, thank you, dear.
You kind of get the impression that she doesn't see so well.
I didn't think so. I got that impression a long time ago. Well, I can answer the first one immediately. It's cheese, crackers, and grapes, right?
Oh, yes, Captain knows.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
indeed.
How are we gonna do the second one? Because it says draw a line, but
And like I know what her hair color is.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it in the puzzle.
jeez.
Like, like Patience looks at the paper and he's like, dear?
Dear.
Oh, darling, let the captain answer his questions. Don't interrupt.
Oh,
I know, it's just, they spelled this really weird.
I found it.
I really like what you're wearing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Where did you get it from?
Oh well, I bought it up north when I was on a vacation many years ago. But it's nice, it's stylish. It's a little more Neverwinter than Waterdeep, but you know.
Oh, where did you go on vacation?
Oh, you know, we went to Neverwinter and then we traveled around the outskirts there for a bit and then came back.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Did you have nice weather?
It was a bit chillier than I would have liked, but I mean, it was when we could afford to get away.
Yeah, I'm from a very warm south area, the Shimmering Plains. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you've been, if you haven't, I totally recommend you go. It's delightful. It's really nice and warm. So.
Oh, warm is good. I'm thinking about retiring soon, and I'd like warmer versus colder.
Yeah. Are you running the shop all by yourself?
Oh no, I've got my boys, Sam Wise and Wise Sam. They're helping me with all things.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are they going to take over when you retire?
I mean, they're supposed to, but they're both a bit dullard, so, I mean, I don't know how well they'll do without me.
They can't even recognize the captain.
No, I mean, they clearly have seen the captain before, and they can't recognize him.
We're working on their people skills. It's a developing issue with the two of them.
If you ever need someone to help, you can hire me. I'm great at people skills.
Oh, Captain, you're so nice.
Oh, you know me.
Oh, so, but the questions, Captain, the questions.
Right. So I found the red. It's 8 over, 3 down. There's like 3 R's. It's the bottom R, and then it's diagonal from there. R-E-D.
All right. So you draw the line through, and she looks at it, and like she leans in real close, like, oh, very good, very good. And just one more of your security questions, Captain.
Oh, gee, I can't remember. What was her name? I don't remember.
We know what her name is.
I will
It's
say.
on the drawing, right?
Yeah. Kurayami, you flipped over a drawing. There was a couple different drawings of a little girl, and the one of them it said cat, age 6 on the back of it.
I've written that in my notes, but I can't make note of it. Like, I can't figure it out.
Is it Katarina?
That's what it looks like.
That what it is?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
So
Do you like one?
Can I just out of game make a confession here? My full name is Katarina.
No.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That's it then.
I did not see that at all.
Yeah, so Kurayami quickly with her quill writes in and says the name out loud and just, oh, yes, well, excellent, Captain. I didn't think you'd have any trouble answering your own questions. Very good, very
No,
good.
of course not.
So she will open up the lockbox for you, and she unlocks it and she says, well, I'll leave you and your friends to your items. It's none of my business. And she walks toward the boys and she swats them with a cane. Come on, bye, Samwise. Leave the captain and his friends to the contents of the box. Let's go. And so you open up the box, and inside you find a bunch of letters and things like that. You also find a little toy mouse. So I will show you the handout. All right, so you find all of these items in the box. There's a letter, there's a bunch of little like notes and scraps of paper, and there's this little tiny just toy mouse. Looks like a child's toy.
Adorable.
When you move the mouse to like look at the papers more closely, a voice comes out, a woman's voice, and it says, "Mr. Squeaks loves you."
Oh, jeez.
So,
We have to find out.
so looking at these, let's see. The letter says, "My dear cat, if you read this letter, it means something has happened to me. I couldn't believe Melody would betray you, so I determined to find the true source of the rat pox. I know I'm close, and if my suspicions are correct, dangerous people have their many, many eyes on me. I know you asked me to destroy your letters, but I couldn't bear to do it. I've kept every single one safe here at Harbor Holdings. Please read them and remember happier times between us, between Melody even. If I'm gone, she's all you have left. Trust her. Love, your father. P.S. I kept Mr. Squeaks all this time. May he remind you that we'll be with you always. And then amongst the little notes, it seems that she kept in touch with her father when she could. You see, it says, Father, I imagine this letter comes as a surprise to you. Maybe you're surprised to hear. I'm alive after running away all those years ago. But I heard about Mother, and I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't reach out to you. Try to have you in my life again, even if it's dangerous, and it is. You see, this might be the biggest surprise yet. I am the Rat King. And then, Father, our letters have been a great comfort to me in my loneliness. I protect the district, but the kind people fear me, and the nasty ones too. You know, it occurs to me. Please promise you'll destroy these letters. It's not safe for people to know you're my family. Father, I'm sorry I haven't written in so long. I've met someone. It's strange. I've always felt so distant from others, but there's something about her. She understands me, and I can't believe it, but I trust her. I'm beginning to understand how you must have felt about Mom. Father, I told you Melody had been studying a type of pox that turns the victims into a rat. Finally, I persuaded her to shelve it for good. I think she really wants to be with me. I want you to meet her. Can we meet at the usual place, 3 bells after sundown? And then finally, another note. Father, I heard about the outbreak. I'm outraged. Can't even write. Do not leave your apartment. Do not do anything. Stay safe. I'll write again when I've made the traitor pay. So
You
this
need to
is
find Cat.
Cat must be the Rat King, and this Melody must be the Lady of Plagues.
Sounds that way.
Melody.
Mm-hmm.
Melody, Milady,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. A tragic love story.
Where can we go to this usual place? Where could that usual place be at?
Good
That's a good
question.
Well, I mean, we know where the Lady of the Plagues is, right? We were told about where she's holding court, right?
You guys heard that there was some kind of temple or effigy to the Lady of Plagues in the district. You also you found another piece of evidence back at Captain Brisby's, but you couldn't pursue it because your friends were unconscious, so you wanted to rush to the doctor. You guys do remember that you saw tracks leading out the window and away from Captain Brisby's, so you did have that other loose end of a clue left over as well.
Okay.
Did I see, on the way over, did I see any druidic markings?
No, you probably haven't seen anything like that.
Okay.
How about this? We go back to Brisby's house and follow those tracks?
Sounds good to me.
We probably should do that, yes. But that won't lead that won't probably lead to where this cat is. Because those rats kill the would like kill the guy. So and her and his daughter wouldn't do that, of course.
This could lead us to Melody then.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm getting from all this paper and all this talk, right? So there's this lady chick who's Melody, and there's the Rat King who's Cat. And Melody betrayed Cat, and now they're essentially Melody started this plague. We should probably go after either one, because if we get the one, we'll find the other, because they're obviously conflicting with each other.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I think we should follow the tracks that we already have.
Before we leave, Sunspot's going to take Mr. Squeaks out of the box and take with us, just in case.
Good.
To see if there is anything in there or anything, like anything hidden in there.
Make an investigation check as you hear, Mr. Squeaks loves you.
Get any weirder the more we do it.
That you know what that totally reminds me of? I remember when I grew up on the streets. And I had a little mouse, and he had a little blue hat. And I named him Feeble Mousewitz.
Okay, so I see nothing on him.
No.
I see nothing on Mr. Squeaks.
No, he looks like a little little child's toy. So you guys take the contents of the box. Little Miss, the gnome Stixie will come back in. She's, are we all set, Captain?
Yes, we're just fine. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Never so much.
Oh.
And remember, go to the Shimmering Plains if you want to have a nice holiday.
That sounds wonderful. And please remember, if you have need, always do business with Harbor Holdings. We will take care of your special goods and things and keep them safe. You see Samwise and Sam eyeing you guys as you're leaving.
Just wave at them.
Samwise says, "Have a good evening, Captain."
Oh, thank you. You should be more wise like your brother, Wise Sam.
Wise Sam actually sort of grins at Samwise at that. So as you guys are leaving, why don't you guys all roll me Constitution saving throws again?
Oh, we're again.
No.
Excellent.
No.
Take us all down.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Wow.
Sunspot's a bit ratty.
All right, let's see.
I don't know what this disease is. I mean,
I have no patience for
Where
this.
Patience is like, what is going on with you guys?
All right, so I need patience, and I need Claraefina to roll a d6.
Patience or me?
I mean, sorry, Sunspot.
I was going to say, the 20?
was
Holy
like-
crap.
I was looking at Patience's save. All right, let's see. So Claraefina's hands start to grow longer and rat-like now.
Oh my.
And let's see, Sunspot now also has a tail.
Yes.
Cool, everybody's
You should,
key points. This is awesome.
It's not good. It's not good to have a tail.
The tale grows in the telling each time.
I kind of like it.
Oh god.
It looks good on you, actually.
And the
Yeah.
buns.
So you make your way back to Cloak Lane, to Captain Brisby's house, and you look around. The thugs you left here, the evidence of your fight is gone.
Okay.
But you
That's fair.
go around to the side window, and who, any of you guys can decide, wants to do survival to try to follow these. You can see the tracks kind of leading away from the window.
I am a druid. I am really well versed in survival.
I have good survival and I have good whiz, so
Hey, should we do it together?
One of you can assist the other one, which would give one of you advantage.
I'll assist.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, jeez.
All
No,
right.
hang on. I did it wrong.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Lysa.
Well, I guess I'll split up, so that's a 19.
Yeah, the high would be a 19. So you follow these tracks, and they lead away from Cloak Lane, down the shambles, over to Mugger's Walk, and then into Cold Steam Plaza. And as you are coming into the plaza, you notice more and more rats are running about now, more than even when you got here this morning. And then you come around the corner and you can see that these tracks are leading to this area. There's all these plague victims kind of like grouped up here. And they're like kind of all congregating. You look ahead and there's this sort of statue that's kind of designed with this plague mask and like cloaked figure that you realize must be the effigy to the Lady of Plagues. And as you make your way in here, you again hear this voice. And it says, "The streets were filled with victims of the rat pox, coughing blood onto the posies they held to their noses. As we explored deeper into that stone maze, they picked up ratty features, beady eyes, fur, tails. Finally, they found the temple. It was made from discarded bottles and crumpled trash stuck together by mud. A towering statue of a weirdo wearing a beaked mask. The sick and the poor were huddled around it, twitching with fur and whiskers." So, as you guys...
Sunspot, come back to me.
But see the light.
Have you ever thought about becoming an actor? You're really good at that.
As you make your way in here, you can see that the people worshiping are of all ages, genders, and races, and they all display varied rat-like features. You kind of lose the smaller tracks that you're following once you get amongst this crowd as they've kind of trampled your trail. But you make your way forward, kind of trying to get closer to this temple. And as you do, you can hear talk throughout, like murmurs, people's conversations. You hear a little boy asking his mother about the statue, and she says, "The statue? Oh, that's the Lady of Plagues. I don't know much about her except that she's the Queen of Disease, so maybe she can help us, darling." And then an older man sitting next to her is like, "The Lady of Plagues is the only one who can lift this plague. She'll save us." And then,
I don't know, and if it's in her name, maybe she's the one that started it. I'd say as I'm walking by.
and another person hears Patience say that and turns around, "Yeah, the Dock Ward's the Rat King's turf. If you ask me, the Lady of Plagues unleashed the rat pox to wipe out the King's men." And somebody else yells, "The Rat King? Don't say that name here. We worship only the Lady of Plagues." So they're kind of starting to argue amongst themselves as you're going through. And you hear, "Oh, they hate each other, that Rat King and the Lady. They hate each other so much, and we've suffered for it, you know? Fights, blood, and now we've got to deal with the Xanathar on top of it prowling about. This is nothing but trouble for all of us."
As long as you don't talk too much, Xanathar isn't too bad.
And then you hear...
He's a real eye for business.
Oh, real eye. And you hear a couple people whispering about, "Don't worry, the worshippers of Ilmatar, they're organizing that march later today. You know, the Salvation Parade. It's only a couple hours away." And somebody else says, "No, that's a bad idea. You only can worship the Lady of Plagues. Everything's going to go wrong if you start spreading yourself too thin." So, as you guys kind of moving your way closer and closer, these people are talking and talking, and then you're almost to this effigy, and you hear, kind of off to the side, people start screaming. Screams start coming out of this crowd you've been making your way through. And
Gents, way to go.
and you see
Yeah, exactly.
Swarming out from around the effigy, these rats start to swarm into the crowds. People start screaming and jumping up and running. And you see this like small halfling. He's got rat ears at this point, and he's kind of running from one of these swarms, and he sort of trips and skids past your feet and kind of slides by you. And the rats sort of run and like kind of swarm around you all. And I'm going to need you all to roll some initiative.
Ugh. Yikes.
Ugh.
12. So you see like 5 swarms of rats kind of surging out from different directions at you all. So let's see. Patience has a 7. Kalax has
Lucky number.
15. 7 is a good number. For Claraefina. And let's see how my rats do, because they're important. They're a very important part of this
You don't have
process.
to roll initiative for rats. I mean,
Swarm of rats. Let's see how my buddies do.
I'm just gonna stomp them over them.
They got 15. Kalax, what's your bonus? You probably have a better bonus than you'll go before them.
Right. So I don't know if you are real people, but you seem a bit too. You all rats seem to be being bad to me. So he's gonna and then he look at you guys, but then he just gonna grab his sword, his great sword, and he's gonna take a swing at some of the rats.
All right.
Can I do that?
Yes. Yeah, they're kind of swarming at you, so you can definitely just try to bash them apart.
All right.
All right, so you swing away at this pile of rats that's swarming in here, and you will hit them as they swarm at you. All right, so you sort of
So I took So I had like one, and I can reroll that one because I have that two-handed trying to fire.
okay.
Can I reroll that?
Yeah.
So I had to reroll the 1d6 sec. Okay. That's the same.
All right.
It was worth a try.
It was.
Yeah.
All right, so you do bash into this swarm of rats, and you send some of their little bodies flying, but there's still a good portion of these rats there. And then they're going to swarm at you all. So this little halfling kind of gets swarmed over, and he's kind of kicking and fighting at them on the ground. And then the one in front of Kalax is going to try to bite at him. So let's see. They swarm all over you, and they're going to bite you. So they get a 7 to hit you, which you manage to keep them from biting through your armor. Then another rat is going to go for Kurayami. Another swarm. Oh, they also miss. Patience, you get swarmed by some rats. How's a 12 hit you?
They now miss because I have mage armor.
Ooh. All right, and then let's see. Claraefina, you get attack. Nope, they don't get you. And finally, Sunspot. Nope, none of. So you guys, they swarm all over you all, and they're nipping and biting, but they don't seem to be able to get through the armor or like your clothing and things like that. So after this, Claraefina, what do you want to do?
All right. So, how many rats are around us?
So there's like 5 swarms. It's kind of like all of you guys have kind of been swarmed like with rats. So you've got one like right at your feet, kind of swarming up, trying to bite you.
Okay, I'm very unhappy about this. I'm going to cast Produce Flame.
Ooh.
And just sort of try to hit the ones at my feet without trying to burn myself, of course, because that would be bad. 7.
A 7 will miss the rats as they scurry. The swarm kind of parts, and you kind of blast like a char mark in the pavement below your feet.
As a bonus action, I would like to turn into a cat.
Ooh.
All right,
I can wild shape, guys.
so you guys see all of a sudden Claraefina like isn't there, and there's this cat. What do you look like as a cat?
Well, I'm a sort of a little bit like like an ugly tabby cat with streaks going through. That's kind of what I am, I'm remarkable, nobody notices, but whoever really comes up sees how cute it is.
All right, so Claraefina is now a cat.
I'm actually curious. Does her rat-like qualities stay?
Oh yeah, so she has her kitty cat tail actually kind of has a little bit of like a rat-like look to it, and
I'm sorry, I had to.
yeah, so she's like a mix. She looks like a hybrid cat rat.
Wow. It's like a
that sounds a bit wrong. That sounds a bit wrong.
That's awesome. All right, so Kurayami, you right now have these rats sort of swarming over you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so as the rats are like swarming over us, I say, you don't deserve to eat something so Kurayami, and I'm gonna try and knock them off with my great club.
Give her disadvantage for that.
I love it.
Oh, hello.
All right, so you slam your great club, like you're just sort of bashing them off your arms and legs with this.
Yeah.
Roll damage for that.
Jesus.
Oh, geez. So 14 points of damage to your rat swarm. All right. Let's see. So your rat swarm is reduced by almost more than half of the rats are just bashed up against like a wall nearby.
Fall to the ground dead. No.
All right, Sunspot, what do you want to do?
Sunspot is going to do 2 unarmed attacks. He's basically just going to start punting the rats as hard as he can away.
Get off, get off, get off.
First attack. Ooh.
Definitely will hit.
And that is 6 damage.
Okay.
And then second kick, 9.
You kick. This time they swarm like up the leg to your hips, so they don't go flying when you kick. All right. So after
Get him off.
after is patience.
Patience is like, all right, this is what I'm talking about, but he's really hurt, so he casts Cure Wounds on himself.
You see Patience's injuries kind of start to heal a little bit in a moment, and then it is back to Kalax. Kalax, what do you want to do?
What? How do I manually roll? Because I got to roll for that.
You do a backslash with an R and then a space, and do a D, whatever the dice is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack in my swarm again with my sword.
Okay.
20.
All right, you bring your sword down into this group of rats. Roll me some damage for that. All right, you finish off the rats that are at your feet, Kalax. So one whole swarm is now just, there's all these little like pieces of rat underneath Kalax's feet that he just kicks away. So you can move, like you're close enough, you could move to any of your comrades to sort of help them next.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna help. Sunspot.
All right, so you move over by Sunspot. So you are ready to attack. All right, now the rats. All right, first on Claraefina.
I have 2 hit points, guys.
Oh, jeez.
But no, as a cat, and then I revert.
Oh, okay. Thank
That's
God.
the same reason I switched, but I picked the one with the lowest hit points.
All right.
The cat seemed cool, right?
Yeah. So does a 13 hit your cat?
Oh, good lord. Yes, it does.
All right. So the kitty cat takes 4 piercing damage. So you see the cat revert back to Claraefina.
Okay, that's good too, so that's cool.
All right, Kurayami, your rat swarm, which you have deftly smashed many of them, they will now try to attack you. Let's see. They will miss. Like
Another nat 1.
Mhm.
Nice.
Then
You
on
can take the sick burn.
No, they couldn't. On Sunspot, they do not hit Sunspot. And then finally, Patience, they see Patience start to heal up, so Patience is looking tastier. So they try to attack, but nope, they're unable to bite through Patience's armor as well. The mage armor, you see the magic flashing as the rats are trying to bite, and they can't get to the skin. All right, so after they all go, Claraefina, you turned into a cat, and now you're back to yourself.
Yeah, that was fun and quick. I would like to yet again cast Flame, and I feel sorry for poor Patience, so I want to go for the ones that are by Patience.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll hit this time. 16?
Yes, you do hit the rats by Patience.
Oh, thank God. That is 1d8. D8. 6 damage.
All right, so Patience, you watch as a couple of the rats just go in fire and get blasted off of you.
That's satisfying.
He nods in approval.
Kurayami, your swarm is looking pretty weak compared to the rest. What do you want to do?
Yeah, the rats are just biting me and it's not even breaking the skin. It's just like, okay, trying to tickle me? What is this? I'm gonna just take another great club swing and just try and knock the rest off.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys watch as Kurayami just like holds up an armful of rats and just clears it in one swipe, and there are no more rats on Kurayami. And you see the little halfling who fell over. He kind of got to his feet and he's kicking and trying to get these rats off of himself. He stumbles back again and lands on his ass again. It's like, I didn't do anything. Get off of me. And then we have Sunspot.
Can I, after I kill the rats, can I go over to where the halfling is?
Sure.
Okay, just like next to him.
Cool. He kind of looks up and up. And then he starts flinging rats again. All right, Sunspot, what do you want to do?
I'm just gonna keep on kicking. Got 2 legs, so I get 2 kicks. First one. Ooh,
That will definitely hit.
Nice.
5 bludgeon damage.
Ooh.
And then my second kick. Ooh. First.
Lord.
All right, your swarm of rats is definitely decreasing in number as you are kicking little
Like punching
rockets.
them, and they're just like.
All right, so after Sunspot, Patience. Patience is limbering up.
He's been very patient. He's ready to go.
So, how close am I to all these swarms? Are like, there's one within 5 feet of me, of course, but are there any more of them within 5 feet of me?
There are the ones that are attacking you that are within 5 feet of you, and then the ones that are on Claraefina are kind of on the other side, so you could get both of them within 5 feet.
Is there any way I'd be able to, the last 4 swarms, be like in the center of all of them?
You could get to the center of all of them.
Okay, Patience does that, and he goes, "Let's kill some rats tonight," and casts Sword Burst on them, and they have to all make dex saves.
So Patience sort of jumps over the rats he's on and lands kind of in between all of you guys and your rats. And let's see what we get for some dexterity saves. All right, I've got.
It's a 13 is what you're aiming for.
All right, so I've got 4 swarms of rats, counting the one on the halfling. So here we go. Dexterity. Let's see. That's a good one.
Well,
Well,
We got 1.
So we
that much force damage as just a bunch of little swords, just like an aura around me for a brief moment.
Do the ones that fail take half?
It's a cantrip, so they don't take anything.
Okay, so the ones in foot that were attacking you, Patience, take 3 more points of damage. The other rats all sort of flatten themselves on the ground as this force goes by them. They squeak angrily at Patience. He seems to be drawing their attention.
Patience, like, as a bonus action, is like, she's like trying to egg him on,
Nice. All
like
right.
an idiot.
So after
It sounds
Patience,
like Patience, to be honest.
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
so
How much
Kalax.
HP does he have?
Yeah, how much HP does Patience have?
He's a lot better, so it shouldn't be one round. Hopefully, I don't want to jinx myself.
Okay.
All right, so Kalax, you have moved over to help Sunspot. So you see Patience blast the storm
Right,
of swords.
you see this huge Half-Orc and says, "Really?" with this huge sword, it says, "Be very still now." I'm gonna try to hit the.
And Sunspot just goes into like a monk pose just to like help maintain balance and not move.
That will hit. So this great big sword comes down one side of Sunspot and cleaves through some rats. Roll me some damage for rats. Ooh. He just deftly, you see Kalax just, and all of the rats' little bodies fall around Sunspot's frozen form. And there are no more rats swarming on Sunspot.
We form a very nice team. See, Sunspot.
Nice sunglasses.
All right, so Kalax, do you want to move? There are two swarms left on your friends, one on Patience and one on Claraefina.
I'm gonna move over Claraefina.
All right. So after Kalax, the swarms. All right, first on Claraefina, your swarm of rats is going to try to bite on you. 15 to bite.
Yep.
All right, they happily like squeak away as they bite you for 7 piercing damage.
Oh, how can they bite so much?
They're very dangerous.
That's a lot.
Yes, and then on Patience, your swarm is going to try to bite, but they can't get through that magical barrier you've put up. They don't know what's wrong here. They just their little noses keep bouncing off the mage armor. All right, so after them, Claraefina, you just took some serious little biting.
I am very unhappy about this, and I feel fire is the only solution to this problem. I am yet again going to produce flame angrily, and I'm going to just sort of lob it at them with anger. Ooh.
That seems like a very angry flame.
Oh, close.
All right.
Damage.
So Claraefina burns part of her swarm. Kurayami, you are standing.
Good.
No,
Oh, dear.
Oh, good.
You are standing over the little halfling who has kind of kicked away quite a bit of his swarm. There's only a couple of rats left.
No. Can I grab him by like, the scruff of his shirt and like pull him up on my shoulder?
Whoa. Thanks for the lift, ladies.
Halfling on one shoulder, Joy on the other shoulder.
Yeah. And can I still do an attack? Or does that be my action?
You can attack, but with two people on your shoulder now, you're going to do disadvantage. Just because
that's fair.
you're kind of off balance a little bit.
There you go.
All right, so you swing down at this swarm of rats that's on the ground. You hear the halfling go, whoa! And there's just a splat, and there's no more rats where the halfling was.
Kurayami shouldered many burdens. This is no problem for her.
Oh, thanks, ma'am.
No problem.
All right, Sunspot.
There's just the one swarm left.
There is the swarm on Patience and the swarm on Claraefina that are left.
Which swarm seems smaller?
The one on Patience seems to be slightly smaller at this point.
Okay. How far away is Patience from me?
Oh, he's right there. Like, he was able to move. He's maybe 10 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm going to back up 15 feet and then do a run and just punt them. Do two unarmed kicks, but just like the first one's just gonna like, boom.
All right.
Gotta get that running start.
It would be like kicking a sand pile, but rats.
Basically. 14?
Yes.
Yay! Power kick. Ooh. 8 damage.
All right. So more than half of what's left of that swarm goes flying in slow motion.
And then second kick. Nope.
Nope. You go to kick again, and you actually sort of slip and have to grab onto Patience to keep your balance so you don't fall on your back end. You just almost overjudged it a little bit, but you did okay.
The tail threw off my balance. I'm not used to that.
All right, Patience. So Sunspot has just used you to catch his balance, and now you are standing there with only a few rats at your feet.
He's cool with that. His tiefling tail flicks in excitement, and he continues singing. You're not even sure what the song is. It's just like, let's kill more rats tonight. And just the exact same song. So the last two have to be dex save.
All right, let's see what we do here. Dex saving throw.
Wow.
As to be expected.
Wow.
He's having time to play.
Yep, these little dexterous rats sort of bound away from this spell effect. And then it is Kalax's turn. So Kalax has moved up to help Claraefina.
How is she? How is she looking? Like is she really hurt? Badly hurt? About to be unconscious?
I'm not. I think I'll probably be okay with another bite.
Then be very still. Then then you're gonna sing this great sword again.
You just hit the rats, just missing Claraefina as you do.
I did.
Yes.
All right.
Dang.
And you cleave off all but maybe like 5 of the rats that were in the swarm that are still scurrying about.
I'm sorry. I could not have them all with my great sword. I'm really sorry about this.
Okay, that's okay. I appreciate very much what you've done.
So the rats, they turn their attention on the great sword. They sort of leap onto Kalax, but they just sort of bite onto his armor and they can't get through it. And then the other rats, they swarm up the leg of Sunspot because there's no magical barrier between them and Sunspot. Oh, nice.
Oh. Bow, bow, bow.
6 points of piercing damage.
Oh, that's fine.
As Sunspot gets the leg that you used to try to kick them is just chewed on by these tiny little rat jaws.
Could have been worse.
All right. So after the rats chew on you two, it's Claraefina.
I mean, there are still 5 little rats around me, right?
Yep, just a couple of them are left.
I mean, I'm still angry. I'm more and more angry. I think the only solution to this is fire. Quite clearly.
Alright.
That rage.
So Claraefina just points down at the ground and incinerates whatever rats are left. And they're gone around her.
Grilled rat.
Finally.
Tasty.
Yeah, there's the smell of burned rat. It's like a barbecue.
It reminds me of home.
Kurayami, you turn around with a joy over one shoulder and this halfling on the other shoulder looking around, and you see just just a handful of rats swarming up Sunspot's legs.
All right. You know what? I'll go over and use my great club and just like sort of bat him off his leg.
Cool. Indeed. All right, so you finish off these rats, and the halfling kind of gives you a pat on the top of your head, and he's like, "You did a good job, ma'am." And you and your friends here, he's like, "That was excellent." He goes, I bet the Rat King sent those rats up to do this to the followers of the Lady of the Plagues, because they fight all the time. Did you know that?
No, I have heard that. Yes.
The Rat King, the rats. Did you see him come out of the sewers? Because that's where that Rat King lives, is down in the sewers. I know it.
Really?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't happen to know where in the sewers?
Oh, I think I know where. Wash knows things. Wash knows lots of things. That's what I do. I know things.
You look just like a person who knows a lot of things. What do you know about the Salvation Parade?
Oh, it's supposed to be later tonight. Those Amata, those people, they're going to come in and pray for us. Because, we're all turning into... You see my ears? I got rat ears. Look at
That's good.
Yeah, and this tail. We're all turning into rats. That's what's happening. This is the Rat King. He
Can I
wants to...
scratch behind Wash's ear? I'll see. It's a good story.
No, it's not bad. But, I'm not fancying a whiskers and a tail. Not that they don't look,
I understand.
they look great on you, ma'am. But, I don't know. So, but yeah, I think I know where the Rat King lives. In fact, do you want to know a secret that I found out?
Yes,
Yes, I love secrets.
Of course.
I found out that Rat King, it's not a he. That Rat King, it's a she.
I know, right?
You know? That totally ruins it.
Do you know what her name is?
No, I don't know her name. I just saw that she was a woman.
How did you
Really?
say?
I saw her one time. She's like cloak and like all these rats around her. Yeah.
Did you have a cloak like this one? I pull the one I have out of my bag.
No, it didn't look much like that.
Okay.
Okay. I pull out the
Question,
mask.
Mr.
Did you see any of these masks before?
I've seen a couple people walking around wearing those, but there's a plague going on, so I don't blame them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but I gotta tell you, the sewers under Waterdeep, they are not somewhere to go if you're not ready to be like on your 100% ready to fight. Because
Oh, I definitely am. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm not necessarily.
What? You're not well.
Don't worry. If you go down, I'll get you back up. Let's go.
yeah, you get knocked down, he'll get you up again, because they ain't never gonna let you down.
Never
We're
gonna
gonna
give
give
it
you
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You get knocked down, you gotta get back up again.
Mm-hmm.
But
After what you guys did for me, I'm not gonna walk around and desert you. I'm never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye.
I
man,
feel like you're making us cry right now.
can you, can you all feel the love tonight? I feel the love tonight.
Okay. Anyway.
Based on specific character sheets, like wait, not bard. No, sorry. Oh, yeah. Let's just go to the sewers.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, do we feel like? I feel like maybe we should go to the Salvation Parade later, and then maybe I don't know, chill a little because I mean,
Should we not stop this before the parade? Or wasn't that the case? Or did
That is
I?
what the captain said.
Did I?
I feel like the parade's going to get attacked by one of the sides. I just don't know which.
Oh, okay.
Or it'll get caught in the middle of both.
So we should probably go after one of them, this Rat King or Rat
The lady of plagues.
Kingestress? No.
I mean, I think we should sort this out quickly. I think it's becoming a problem. I mean, look at
yeah.
how we look. But I don't want us to go in if we're feeling really fragile. And I was bitten quite a few times. There's a lot of rats on me.
Yeah.
At this moment, Kalax feels something weird inside of him, like a burst of something magical going on him, and then oh my god, my hands are just glowing, but not in the same way that it did before. Then he's gonna cast what's it called, it's gonna cast Cure Wounds on her. So you roll, or I roll. No, you roll 1d8 plus the modifier plus 4.
That's four.
No, sorry, plus 2. So 1d8 plus 2 of healing for you.
Yay!
I'm sorry, I have to touch you for a bit.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so Kalax has this sudden, just this sort of almost light glow of energy kind of seems to seep around him. And he's more there for a second, bright, and then he passes this energy on to Claraefina, and you see her bite marks just start to close.
That's so cool.
This is handy, isn't it? This is cool, right?
It is pretty handy.
Oh.
Wow, can you do that all the time?
I think you need to lay down those hands. You need to calm down.
About to catch these hands.
Are these hands made for healing?
That's just what they'll do.
Yes.
So to the sewers.
To the sewers.
Oh, and as you're making your way there, I need everybody to roll Constitution saving.
No. I wanted to ask if we want to try and find the Lady of Plagues or the Rat King. That's the question. Because I don't know if the Lady of Plagues is in the temple or is she somewhere else.
Well, Rat King, we at least know where she is.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. The rat.
I am not doing well on these rolls.
All right.
Claraefina's about to turn into a rat.
I need
Bad shape.
I need you two, Claraefina and Kalax, to both make roll me d6s.
Oh gosh.
Yay, I get another 6.
Roll it again, actually.
You'll get a second tail.
All right. Let's see.
2 tails. Oh my god.
Claraefina's got a 5. Yep, you do have a 5, so you've got to roll again.
Do I?
Gotta catch them all.
So I've had until now the eye thing and the tail, and now
The whiskers.
now I got one.
Now
You got whiskers.
Oh shit.
Claraefina, roll me one more time because you've already got one.
Oh jeez.
Oh, have I got 2 already?
You've got whiskers, a tail, and you've got the hands.
Now number 1.
Oh.
Get for 1. That's the hands.
No, your eyes. Now your eyes also. So Claraefina is definitely much taken on these ratty features. And you see Wash look at her and he's like, oh man, he's like, we really got to get you fixed up. You're going to start shrinking any time now.
I have the sudden urge. I'm not doing it, but I have this urge inside of me where I just want to wild shape into a rat. Get a remote. But I'm not going to do that.
Sunspot's gonna look at Wash and be like, "You also kind of shrunk a little bit.
What? I did? What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You look a little smaller."
Oh no!
I felt the weight on my shoulder get a little lighter.
I'm turning into a rat. What?
I don't
think
know.
so.
He's a halfling, so he's already pretty short. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Can I use my Firbolg natural ability to grow a little bit so it looks like he's smaller?
Sure. Yeah. So you grow a little. He starts kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, no, I've been taking precautions. I thought the yours was it. Oh no, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Like he's gonna feel Yami get bigger.
He has no idea.
It's gonna make him think he's shrinking.
Mm-hmm. He So after he paints a little bit, he does look at Kurayami and he goes, "By the way, I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
What's with carrying around the dead body on the other shoulder there?
Oh, well, she isn't dead, but she might know a thing or two.
So like a keepsake?
Well, she's useful, I'm sure.
All right. I mean, that's cool. All right. Yeah. So you sure you want to go down in the sewers?
Yes.
All right. Come with me.
Let's keep going, please, guys. This is not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good at this point.
All right. So he leads you to a sewer grate and he pulls it back and descends down into the sewer.
Before we go down, are there any markings at the top of that sewer grate?
Ooh, make me an investigation check.
Particularly any druidic markings or anything like it? 17.
So you do know that there is some little symbols, and they are in Druidic, and it looks like it's sort of a notation that this is our place where we'll meet.
This says this is our place where we'll meet. We've heard that before.
Spot.
Okay.
Right, let's go down. Let's just follow him back.
So we'll find the daughter here.
Heck yeah.
Right, let's go down the ladder and all. There's
Right.
a lot of ladders in this place.
A lot of ladders. So you descend down into the sewers, and you get the smell, the gross, sewage just reeks as you go down, and you kind of descend down into just this layer of muck and gross, and Wash is it's this way, follow me. So as you guys follow, what order are you going in? Because it's kind of single file, you guys are following.
Obviously, Patience will go first with him.
Okay.
I'm going second.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the middle. I feel squishy today.
You sure it's not squeaky?
And I want to keep looking out for. Is it two ways or something down here? The markings that direct us the way.
You make an investigation check when you get down here.
All right.
Sunspot's gonna take up the rear.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I'll be in front of Sunspot then.
When you get down here, you don't see any markings down here that you notice. So you guys start following Wash as he kind of starts off heading kind of north up a tunnel. And as you're moving along, this voice comes over you all. And you hear, just when we thought this case couldn't sink any lower, there they were, knee-deep in the muck of the Dock Ward sewers. Those tunnels smelled riper than a troglodyte's laundry and were twice as rotten. So, you look around again. The halfling kind of stops, and he looks at Sunspot, and he's like, is that really necessary?
Is what necessary?
All right, then. It's this way.
Keep going.
So you move along the tunnels, and you kind of take turns left and right through the sludge and debris, just kind of sloshing along. And you have gone for about maybe 15, almost 20 minutes under here traveling, when Patience, up ahead, because you're standing taller than this halfling, you see there's a coin purse. Looks like somebody dropped in the tunnel, and you can see the top of it's open, and there's just some gold coins kind of falling out around it.
do I see this?
I as a reaction, I try to stop it happening. Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right.
And as we do this, I don't tell you guys what I saw because he doesn't think it's too important. But he does say, hey, I know this seems really out of character for me, but we should actually try talking to this Rat King. They just seem to be taking care of their own territory, and this lady is just invading and causing all this stuff.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
We could get an ally because we know the Rat King doesn't like the plague.
Exactly.
How awesome would it be to have those swarms of rats with us as we go after the lady?
They just like carry us in. We just like crowd surf on these rats.
We'll see what happens when we get there.
Yeah.
Does Claraefina see the coin purse?
Make me a perception check.
All right. No, I don't think she does.
So your kind of attention is drawn by Patience, who has turned around.
Oh yeah, and there's like money. I don't really need it, but there's some money. It might be a trap, so I'm.
Okay, so now I see it. I see.
Yep. Yeah. So
how far away are we?
so the coin purse is about 10 feet past where Patience stopped Wash. So
Okay. I'd like to sort of point to everyone that they should be quiet, and then whisper. I think that's a trap.
Probably.
And I would like to druid craft the sound of a small animal. Let's say a cat sound coming from just from where that is, like a loud meow.
all right. So this meow goes off, and you guys kind of wait, and Wash is like, well, it looks like somebody dropped their purse walking through here. I mean, just nice little coin for the pocket. I don't know.
It must have been that cat I just heard.
Maybe.
A little.
A cat burglar, perhaps.
Can I?
Casually walks up to go pick it up, and he's just going to give it to you guys. He's not actually going to keep it. But as he just walks up blindly almost.
All right. So Patience, you walk up and pick up the coin purse.
Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't even check or anything.
So when you do, you guys hear this metal clang, and you see like all this muck flies up as you see this metal like bar sort of fly up and over. And Patience,
That's about right.
Patience, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm great at those.
I was about to say you're probably not, are you?
I'm kidding. I'm great at those.
Oh wow. So you see this arm just coming up and over, and you realize that this is going to snap right down on me. And you leap out of the way. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as it just sort of hits you in the back as you get out from away from it, and it snaps down. And you realize that this is a gigantic mousetrap that was buried under the sewer muck, and the coin purse was sitting on the trigger plate.
Wow, this sewer is like really in disrepair. It's like falling apart. That almost hit me.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Patience, you look down at the coin purse you picked up and kind of jingle it, and you realize, I got like 50 gold pieces out of that deal, though.
Hey,
Oh, wow. Hey, does anybody want like 50 gold?
I'll take it.
Actually, wait, I could probably buy a good weapon out of it. You want to split it evenly?
We can split 10-10-10, yeah.
Okay.
Wash is like, wait a minute, I'm here too.
We don't trust you yet.
You're, yeah. You lead us to the
You're,
Rat King, and we'll see about paying you.
Now think about it.
Actually, this is a very good question. I'd like to make an insight check on Wash.
Okay.
As you're doing that, I'm like, actually, I noticed you didn't have a weapon before. I have a few daggers you can borrow if you want.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, so Wash seems like he's a little miffed about not getting any of the cash, but you don't get like any vibes off him that he's being shady about
I
this.
said we'd pay him afterwards.
I mean, he's going to be a rat soon anyway, so.
That's also true.
I give him one of my 3 daggers, and I'm like, this is worth that share anyway. Here you go.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Well, I like generous. That's a generous soul right there. Hey, can I ask you a question? What's that up there on your head? What's that up there?
Oh,
That is a good question.
some angel put it up there when I was born, and I'm cursed by it.
Oh,
That's why I gave you a dagger as a gift instead of trying to hit you when I first met you.
Oh, all right. You're cursed. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Yeah. So no, we gotta. It's this way. Though that trap.
Yeah.
That trap was a bit noisy. So, I mean.
What?
Well,
Yeah, tinnitus.
All right. Come on. Follow me. So he leads you further on, and you notice up ahead, it looks like the chamber is opening up into a larger section of drain. You guys, he looks at you all, he's like, it should be right up here. All right. So he guides you up and around the corner, and you see this in this chamber, kind of across the way, there's like a throne set up, and on the throne is a hooded, robed, veiled figure, and hundreds of brown rats are swarming around underneath her feet, around her legs, up and over, just around and around and around. Then you hear this voice again. The dame wore a veil, and it wasn't just for show. She was crying like a rat eating onions. Under that lace, she had hair so red it would burn you if you got close. More freckles than the stars at night, and legs that went on for days. Well, they looked like they did. It was hard to tell under all those rats. So yes, you see this figure sitting on the throne, and she does in fact appear to be distraught and crying, and she hasn't noticed you kind of rounding this corner just yet as you come in.
I am so sorry for this. Her name was Kat, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Patience has low wisdom. He
Oh,
hears
no.
that, and he cat calls.
She whips her head around and looks in your direction, and she says, "Who do you think you are coming here?"
Apparently a lucky guy. Is he like his eyebrows?
God, someone get him out of the way.
Wait, Sunspot's gonna push his way to the front and pull out Mr. Squeaks and squeeze him.
So you saw that she, when Patience was catcalling for a second, she had started to rise, and her robe kind of float around her, and you could see that underneath where she was crying, you saw her suddenly get angry, and there was a short sword at her side that she put her hand on, and then she sees Mr. Squeaks, and she stops, and she just looks at Sunspot, staring at him, and she is like,
Mr. Squeaks loves you.
Don't give me disadvantage.
Okay, that was a bit mean, but I'm not sure if it was good or bad. We'll see.
So, Sunspot, make me a persuasion check. You have advantage for using Mr. Squeaks.
Okay.
Nice.
Persuasion. Oh, I'm terrible at these. That's fine.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh, I got an advantage.
Yeah.
Where did you get that? Her hand is still on hill.
We came to the city. We were told to meet your dad. We found a note linked to his security vault. We found your letters and the rat, Mr. Squeaks.
What letters? There's no letters.
Do we take those?
Yeah, I took him.
No,
The messages.
No. I don't think they were letters because those were destroyed, right?
Oh, we've got them.
Yeah, no.
We got them.
No, they were not destroyed.
She wanted them destroyed, but they
Yeah.
The father had kept them in the lockbox that you guys
No,
found.
yeah, I know that, but I was like, I don't want her to get angrier with her father too as well, you know.
Well, he's kind of dead.
He's dead.
So...
No, that's
Yeah, but they should be even more mad at us too. So I don't know. In general,
Hey,
we'll see what happens.
before you get into a fight you don't want to get into, as he looks at her, you guys got all that Ghibli joke that has all the words and stuff on it, right? That shows all this stuff about her and her lady friend or whatever. As I look back at the Rat King,
She says, "What lady friend?"
Malady?
yeah, that one.
What do you know of
Melody.
I know she's a
Wow,
traitor.
I know she's a bitch and she betrayed you.
Yes.
She developed the rat pox, and you told her not to do it, and then she kind of did it anyway.
She did. She said that she wouldn't. She said that she'd keep it locked away, and then she didn't do that.
Clearly.
Well, we're trying to stop the rat pox. We're on the same side here.
I want to see these letters. And you see the rats sort of swarm toward you.
Just
I can't.
Sunspot's gonna pull out the messages in the cipher code and just like,
Start giving letters and
Here
stuff
you
to the
go.
rats. There you go.
here you are.
Give everything to it.
I lean down with one of the rats and I'm like, okay, be careful with that in my animal speak.
Squeaker McSqueak squeaking.
So she looks at these things and she reads through the letter from her father, and you see her like tears roll down her eyes again, and she says, what does he mean that he doesn't think that she had anything to do with this? I don't understand.
Not sure.
What did
Maybe
you?
so.
What does this cipher mean? What is? I don't have mine. I destroyed it.
For the messages, Sunspot's gonna relay what they said because he wrote them down and he has them. I wish for the day our love is not hidden. Saw a hat today and thought of you.
Lisa pointed out in the chat it's supposed to be rat, not hat.
Saw a rat.
Yeah.
Saw a rat today and thought of you. It wasn't me. Why can't you see it? And then I will never forgive you. This is war. So why can't you see that it wasn't me? Must be Melody message.
So
Okay, so who are we fighting again?
We don't know yet.
We don't
We're trying to figure it out.
I know that the Lady of Plagues is responsible for killing my father and starting this plague.
Yeah.
I also
Lady of Plagues, is that Melody?
Yes. I also know
Your
that she
father
plans.
didn't think.
Well, she plans to release an even worse plague tonight at the parade. I've already sent my minions to ambush her and stop her.
About that.
No.
Well, we don't know which plague got sent. So
We would like to form an alliance and try to stop this plague further. We are on the same side, at least in this regard, and we would leave you be after this.
I mean, are we?
I thought so. I mean,
No, I'm asking her.
oh right.
I know, patient that you and I are on the same side. I know that. I was talking to her, about this fight.
She says, I was enamored with the Lady of Plagues. I thought she was a kindred soul, but misguided. Yet she was so beautiful. She came to Waterdeep. She was going to quell the city to strengthen the stock, purge the weak. But I convinced her that it wasn't something she needed to do, that even the common cold does that on its own, that she should step away from those needs to do those kind of things. I trusted her. I shared my secrets with her. I told her who I was. I let her meet my father. Now he's dead. I confided in her. And now the sickness has taken hold of the docks, and my father is gone. Am I supposed to believe all of this is a coincidence? No, I don't believe it. It's a betrayal.
But believe in what your father thinks. Your father is a captain, was a captain, and he was a very honourable man. And your father certainly only ever wanted the best for you. Your father didn't believe Melody was the person.
She's kind of looking at these things, and she squeezes the little rat, and it says, Mr. Squeaks loves you. And as you guys see her attention is drawn away, you look over in the swarm of rats that are kind of swarming up and down and all around her, and you see a singular rat start to sort of kind of connect from the rat pack and kind of start to try to scurry a little ways away. And all of you recognize this rat. You remember seeing it sitting on top of the shoulder of a certain mind flayer outside Captain Brisby's house earlier today. And it pulls itself free from the swarm and starts to try to move away. As you hear again the voice over the voiceover, this case has more twists than a wanty wrapped around a pretzel, but the best was yet to come. That bald rat might turn out to be something important. You better not let that rat go.
Thanks, boss.
I'm gonna run and I'm gonna make a run to that rat.
That rat.
Sunspot has
And
45
try
feet
to
of
grab it.
movement, so he's just gonna go.
All right, so you guys each have an opportunity to try to catch this rat.
Okay.
So,
are we
How far
rolling
away is
initiative?
this rat from me?
I hope I can use
yeah.
my athletics.
I'm
check.
going to have you guys roll initiative to see who's going to try to run for it first.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness I did not go first. You do not want me to go first. I'm just telling you.
That's me.
Boy.
All right. So, before anything, I want to turn to the Rat King and I say, whether she did it or not, I just want to end this game of cat and mouse. And I'm going to take off for that little cranium rat. Get the old bastard.
All right, so you run for this rat, which you draw her attention. She's surprised as you start darting in amongst the rats. So what do you want to do to try to catch this rat?
Can I try talking to the other rats to get them to jump on it and stop it?
Can you grapple it?
I'm hoping the rats will grapple it for me.
You can make a persuasion check to try to tell the other rats to get this one.
Okay. I will do that. Oh, geez.
So you start talking to the rats, and they seem to completely ignore your request or anything. They seem to only do whatever their mistress tells them to. So,
City animals, I swear.
Claraefina, you see Kurayami squeaking at the rat pile. What do you want to do as you see this little balding rat running, trying to get around a corner away from you?
I'm within 30 feet.
Yeah, you guys were all within 30 feet. Yep.
Okay. So, now Mage Hand only allows very simple actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like open a container, open a door, pour something out. Would scooping a rat be one of those actions?
I'd say, yeah, you could try to scoop up a rat with a mage hand.
I would like to do that.
Okay. So,
I don't actually, there is no real role for it. I just cast Mage Hand.
well, since it's an extension of you, we'll use your strength athletics to try to grab this little sucker, and he'll try to get away with his dexterity.
All right, so I roll athletics, yeah?
Yep.
Strength, athletics. Oh, that's a -1. That's great. How do I actually do -1 on here?
You slash.
I've got
Yep.
it.
So the mage hand goes for the rat, and it scurries around it and avoids it. Sunspot.
Sunspot is going to run after it because he's a very quick boy,
He is.
and he's gonna pull out the robe that he took off the Plague Doctor and try and just throw it over it and hold it,
Okay. So
kind of like a tarp type of deal.
I will give you advantage on an athletics check because you're utilizing the robe to kind of corner it and catch it,
All right,
and it will try to avoid this.
see how we do. Ooh, wow, same thing.
It almost gets out one end of the robe, but you manage to
Gotcha.
flip it and catch it in the robe.
And I just wrap it up all around where I know the rat is, and just holding it.
All right, so you wrap it up, and it starts to panic inside the robe and panic, and you get the impression that it really is wants to get out. And as it's doing this, you start to see images flashing in your head.
Of course.
So you see the cranium rat nestled in the arms of the mind flayer from earlier today. The rat and the mind flayer stand before the Xanathar, crime lord. We can transport the slaves, my Xanathar. We just need the proper distraction to keep the city watch busy. How about the old enemy of yours, the Rat King? And then the image flashes, and you see the cranium rat hiding amidst the swarm of rats, apparently spying on the Rat King and a woman. They're holding hands inside a laboratory. With very careful care, the lady, who you assume must be Melody, the Lady of Plagues, is putting a small green vial with greenish gas inside into a strong box and locking it closed. Then the image flashes again. You see the Rat King and this woman, who you assume is the Lady of Plagues, and they're meeting with Captain Brisby. The trio are sitting down for a meal inside the apartment of Captain Brisby. And you can see this from the perspective of the window, where the cranium rat was spying on them. And then it flashes again, and you see the Mind Flayer standing in front of the Xanathar. And it says, "Unleashing our plague will create the distraction we need. After that, all we need to do is turn them against each other." And then you finally see a swarm of cranium rats pouring through a window and attacking Captain Brisby. And then you come back to yourself in the room.
He's gonna make his way over towards where Kat is and say, "It wasn't her. It was the Mind Flayer and the Xanathar. They're trying to do get some slaves out. They needed a distraction. They used this little bugger here, and I'm gonna kind of shake the cloak a little bit to spy on you, and they know where the plague was, the pox. I assume they stole it and unleashed it, and they're using you two to fight against each other to serve as a distraction."
She says, "Give me that monster." And she takes the cloak.
I just hold the cloak over.
Yeah, she snatches it away, and she sort of is holding it. And you see her eyes go distant for a second as she kind of is squeezing down on it, and you hear it squeaking. And then she finishes and she hands it back to you, and she says, I've made a terrible mistake then. We have to stop this. We have to get to the street side immediately. We have to go."
Away!
We have to. Yeah.
Let's go.
We have to stop. We have to
What?
stop.
Can I see it, the little guy?
He's what? Oh, it's in Sunspot's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunspot's gonna. Don't kill him yet.
No.
And hand it over.
I try to speak to it, speak with animals. Can I try to coax it to at least not be frightened of me?
So you speak to it, and it says to you, "Let me go. Let me go. Let me go."
Or not.
You know we can't do that. You look like a smart little mouse. Maybe smarter than me.
I am. I'm very
his brain
smart.
is sticking out of his head.
Why don't you join me? We can have a lot of fun. You can squeak around a bunch, and I can get you cheese.
Oh,
Why don't you,
Kurayami's gonna pull some cheese out of her pack and hand it over to Patience.
Patience? Why don't you make me a persuasion check?
Does he have advantage because he has the cheese?
Yes.
He might take a mage class of some kind just to find familiar to have this as a familiar if it's working.
Nice.
To steal the Mind Flayers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the rat will take the cheese and kind of calms down a little bit. You think that you have to build some trust here, but this is a good first start with it. And as you're doing this, the Rat King has gotten a short sword, has her long bow. She turns around and she starts tossing each of you. She throws a vial to each of you. And you see this little red potion with little golden flecks inside that you recognize as so you each get a healing potion of healing.
Hey. One of us.
Thank you.
Each of you gets one.
Thank you.
Do you know how to cure
She thought she would cure me of the disease, but I think not.
And
Does this cure the disease, Patience then?
she says, "No, Melody will know how to do that. We have to stop her. We have to convince her that this has all been a grave mistake on both our parts." And then
The rat.
she looks at Sunspot and she says, "Here," and she tosses you something. You catch it, and it's these like little pan pipes carved out of wood. They're decorated with carvings of hundreds of little scuttling rats. And she says, "This will show you the entrance to and from my home anytime you play it. Since you've done me such a good service, friend." She says, "Now we must hurry. The parade is going to start. We have to stop this." And she will dash out into the muck, running with the swarms of rats following.
Claraefina follows. Says
Yeah,
the
just
Sunspot
going
as she
there.
goes past. You can now become the Pied Piper of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
And he's running.
Patience follows. He's actually probably lagging behind just a little bit because he's trying to run, keep the cranium rat contained, but also trying to not make it uncomfortable for the cranium rat.
So as you guys are running, I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws.
Gotcha.
This has been going so well for me.
It's about time. I was waiting for that.
Am I going to become full rat?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We're gonna find out. Oh,
Oh wow.
I was thinking as we get stay here longer, the deep sea.
I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to turn full rat.
All right.
See what my final form would be, rather.
So it looks like I'm gonna need.
Maybe.
Yeah. It looks like.
I could have become an amazing rat, you know?
Sure.
So Patience and Sunspot both have to roll a d6.
Yay!
5.
All right. So Sunspot, you have. Let's see. Wrong page. Do.
I am horrible at roll.
Other way.
Slashes before the R.
So Sunspot, your hands turn rat-like as well now,
Look at us. We have the same hands.
and Patience grows
Seemingly
rat
behaving.
ears. So Patience now has rat ears.
Do I get like extra attack when I punch things because I got little rat claws? Yeah.
You just do that. Tiny, like T-Rex arms.
Oh.
All right, so I want to check with you guys. Can you guys play for a little bit longer?
Yeah.
All right,
Can I quickly go to the bathroom?
sure.
Okay. Do you
So
want me to like turn off my camera?
yeah, sure, that works.
Well, I'm not gonna take it with me.
That'd be probably better.
Hey guys, live here.
Live stream.
I think that might be
Can I
a.
screw everything up?
I'll fix it. It's fine.
Okay. I'll be right back. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
It's okay. So everyone is now someone else.
Excellent. I have become a wood elf monk.
You have.
I'm a high elf druid. Wow.
I don't have Twitch.
Awesome being a high elf druid.
Very cool.
Pretty good.
You can turn into rats, like on command.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait hours and roll dice for it. You just turn into a rat.
So you all, yeah. So you guys are all rushing through the sewers to try to get back up to the upper level, as this is happening. You see, Katarina, the Rat King, seems to be very beside herself with everything that's happened. She's lost her dad. She thought that the woman that she loved betrayed her. Now she set in motion an attack that could cost her this other person that she loves. So she is making great haste to catch up. And as you're running, Sunspot is probably trying out his new set of pipes. And she's like, "This isn't the time for that, Sunspot."
As we're running, can I like telepathically communicate with her with my new level 2 telepathy ability?
Ooh, telepathy ability.
I have
And I wanna just like say in a gentle voice, "It's not your fault, you know. You were working on false information."
You hear back, "I should have known better. I should have known that someone might try to betray me. The Xanathar is never to be trusted. He's a monster."
No, yes, literally, he kind of is. And he's a little bit of a madman, but you know,
Insane.
that's how it is.
happens.
All right, you guys, you're going to hopefully no longer be other people. Oop.
While we're moving, I'm talking to the green rat, and I'm like, yeah, that guy was like all purple and smelly. Don't worry, I probably have a better home for you than what he had.
Hey, I'm a high elf druid again.
Hooray!
All right, so you run up to the street level, and you know that you have to run around a cloak lane where this parade is supposed to be taking place.
As we're running,
Mhm.
I would like to put on the cloak that I want to pull it out of my bag and put it on and put the hood up.
Oh, in case it wasn't already stated before, when we did loot those ropes, I've been wearing it like the whole time.
Okay, yeah, you were. All right, so you guys come up into the streets, and you find as you get into the streets that it looks like this parade of salvation has already kind of kicked off into full swing. You can see throngs of Ilmater worshippers filling the streets. They're walking along, handing out blankets and care baskets to those afflicted with rat pox, who stand on the curbsides watching them come through. So they've come through up at the quarantine gate, and they're praying and handing out all of these things to these sick people. And you can hear murmurs among the marchers starting to kind of come up. And then you hear startled shrieks as you kind of run into the center of this, and you're sort of looking around. You see the Rat King kind of whipping back and forth, looking, trying to see if she can get a glimpse on where anybody is. And you hear a shriek start as the crowd starts to part in front of you. And a fearsome woman sort of steps into view. So she is wearing one of these long beaked masks and holding something above her head. You see it's a glass vial that she's holding, and her cloak is billowing out behind her dramatically. And you guys kind of look around because there's no wind whatsoever, so the cloak is just billowing all on its own behind her. And then you hear this voice, and it says, "She was madder than a hobgoblin trapped in a barrel, but something about her said she wasn't ready to drop that vial. Maybe it was the smoke getting in her eyes, but they could have sworn she was crying behind that mask." So you see this woman, and she is flanked by 6 of these other masked cult plague doctor people, and she is holding up this vial. And she starts yelling out to the crowd, "Oh, how quick they are to blame me for this. How quickly they are to label me and to say that this is my fault and to say that I should stay in my box and I shouldn't do the things that I was meant to do. But now, because of certain people's presumptions, now everyone is going to suffer." And she holds up the vial, looking like she's getting intent and ready to attack. Says, "I was betrayed by your precious protector, the Rat King, the only other person who knew about my masterpiece. She thinks that that she could release my disease and that she can then blame me and frame me for it? No, I don't think so. I'm the artiste. I am not a mass murderer. This is designed to turn you all into rats." And she says, "The previous version, it wasn't foolproof, but don't you worry, this one won't prove as ineffective." So what do you guys want to do in this moment?
We have to stop her.
Patience uses thaumaturgy, and he yells, "Stop."
All right, so you yell stop, and all eyes sort of turn in you guys' direction. So you're kind of spread out in the street where the crowd parted, and you sort of are kind of around the Rat King, who's standing there with her cloak and her veil. And you see the Lady of Plague sort of stop and stare. "You're not going to stop me from doing this." She looks at all of you.
Patience just like really quickly nabs the hat off of Sunspot and puts it on his head. He's like, "Oh, there are more than 2 sides to this story. Before we have a poor sporting couple, but they seem to be in quite distress. Not fully understanding what's going on, but instead of talking to each other, they're fighting. If only we could all just get along." And he puts the hat back on Sunspot.
Don't you do that. It's my house.
The Lady of Plague points at the Rat King and says, "She did this. She released it. She set me up. And now I'm going to show her who the true artist is."
It wasn't her. It was not her.
"Liar."
We can prove
You
it.
have to believe us. It was not her.
We can
I
prove
can
it.
prove
wasn't
it
her.
if you want.
And you see the Rat King says, I was wrong. We were wrong. Let them tell you, please. So how do you try to prove it to her? She hesitates with the vial over her head.
Use the rat.
I'm holding the cranium rat and like, hey, what's your name, buddy?
He's just sort
You
of.
don't have to give him a name.
Yeah, he just sort of squeaks at you, and it's just like.
Do you mind if I hold you up? Get some fresh air, you know?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh no.
You can do it.
So he agrees to allowing you to hold him up.
You were being attacked by the Zanzibar as I hold up the cranium rat.
Are you like Lion Kinging the cranium rat?
Yeah.
So you see the Lady of Plague sort of hesitate, and you see the Rat King kind of hands up, walking forward, and she says, My father found the truth, and they uncovered it. The Xanathar had him killed to stop us from knowing the truth and to have us destroy each other. We have to stop this, Melody. We have to stop this. And you see her look between you all, and the Rat King takes her sword off and kind of puts it down on the ground, and she says, I'm sorry, it wasn't you and I know it. I should have known better. Please. And the Lady of Plagues kind of looks at the vial, and she puts, who would do this to us? Why? What would the Xanathar gain by setting us up?
It was a
He had a plan for slavery, but he needed a distraction for some of his plans.
they're gonna get a shipment of slaves or something out, and they needed a distraction, and pitted the two of you against each other to serve as that distraction.
Yeah, what he said.
Sunspot, roll me a persuasion check with advantage, as you have all this evidence now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Persuasion.
Ooh,
Whoa, look at that.
look at that nat 20 goodness.
She walks toward the Rat King, and she whispers, so like only you guys can hear, and the crowd has kind of started to disperse and run away. And she says, it wasn't you. And Katarina's like, no, it wasn't me. I'm sorry. And she takes her mask off, and you see this like beautiful, like just gorgeous woman. The only flaw, she has this like pearly white skin. She's got this beautiful flowing hair under the cloak. The only flaw that you see is she has like a deformity on her cheek. It looks like from maybe when she was younger, she might have been sick or something, and it scarred her face. And she looks at Katarina, and she kind of seems like she wants to believe her. And then Katarina touches her face, and they embrace and hug one another in the street. And they pull away from each other, and she gives her a kiss, and she says, you're the only one I have left. Everyone I love is gone. And Melody just kind of touches her face, and she's just like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I have a cure. I have a cure for this. I can stop this.
Yes, please.
And they look at at the group of you, and the Rat King says, the Xanathar destroyed almost everything I love. She looks at Sunspot and points at you, and her eyes are like fierce, and she says, he's transporting innocence. He used us to cover it up, is what you're telling me. It's what this rat told me. We need to do something about it. Will you help us?
Yes.
She says, we have no time to get other help. He's using this moment now to do it. If that rat, what he showed us, is true, we have to go stop them. Are you willing to risk your lives one more time for the people of this district?
Of course.
Sure. I want to see this story
Yes.
through to the end.
She squeezes Melody's hand, and she says, we have our chance to get vengeance on him. We're going to stop his slave trading in this district. She says, quick, come with me. They're down at the end of Cloak Lane, if the rat was right. and she turns and runs, holding Melody's hand. She scoops up her sword as she runs past and slides it into her belt and starts bolting down the street in that direction.
I point at them as they're running away and turn to everybody else and I'm like, how romantic. Oh my gosh. I'll write all about this.
Sunspot's chasing after him.
So you run down the street, through the crowd. Like, there's still a crowd of people. There's kind of chaos from what happened, but they're kind of calming down. You see the priests are calming them down as you make your way through. And as you arrive at the end of Cloak Lane, you're looking around, and you see this group. They're kind of off to the side. They're in the shadows of one of these buildings, and you can see immediately, like Claraefina notices right away as she rounds the corner, and the rest of you see shortly afterward. There's a group of humanoids. They're lined up. You see that they have, at first you would mistake them for like the cloths people have had wrapped over their faces to avoid the plague, but you realize they're gagged. They're gagged across the mouth. And you realize that they're not standing comfortably. They're all tied behind their backs, and their arms are linked. And you can see, it looks like there are 8 individuals sort of crowding around them, getting ready to move them down the street and kind of toward the docks themselves. And as you see this, you hear a voice. And it says, "The Xanathar thought he could use the plague to smuggle slaves through the city. All those eyes, and that creep still couldn't see the problem right under his face. See, he should have killed these guys when he had the chance." All right, so what do you guys want to do in this moment? You see the Rat King and the Lady of Plagues start to sort of spread out and heading for this group of individuals with these poor souls all tied up and attached to each other.
So you said there were 8 people around the slaves, right?
There are.
Excellent. I'd like to use some side points and use my Mantle of Fear discipline to use Incite Panic on all 8 of them.
Oh,
As an
man.
action, choose up to 8 creatures you can see.
Cool.
And let me see. They all have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right, let's see.
I hope they're dumb.
As suddenly, you guys just see like this dark energy start off Kurayami, and her face starts to get like really, like her eyes bulge out, and her gets all dark under her eyes and stuff. Her tongue sort of sticks out and gets really long.
Nice, almost like a noggin.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The,
Suppose.
As we were running up, I have the cranium rat, and I'm like, you know what? I think your name should be Truth, and your name should now be Vernitas, which is Latin for truth.
Nice. All right. So what is the DC on this wisdom save?
It is a 12.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 5 of these individuals. So what happens when this affects them, Kurayami?
On a failed save, the target is frightened until the start of its next turn. Let me see. And I can maintain concentration to keep it up.
Okay.
And I also roll dice. So you said there were 5, right?
There were 8 people. 5 of them failed it.
Okay. So on an odd number, they do something, and on an even number, they do something. So
Oh, okay. On their turn?
I'm just gonna roll all 5.
Okay.
They're all even. All right.
All evens.
Okay, so I will tell you. If you roll an even number, the frightened target makes 1 melee attack against a random target within reach. If there's no such target, it moves half its speed in a random direction and takes no action on that turn. So there you go.
All right. So what was on the even? They're going to attack?
They attack someone random.
All right.
Near them. Yeah, melee attack.
Okay, so I'm going to need you guys to roll initiative, and then
All right.
we'll see how this goes.
We're doing this. Why is my initiative so bad today? Jeez.
It
Sorry,
happens.
ignore my initiative. That was wrong. Sorry.
Initiative's garbage.
Sorry. My initiative is 16. Sorry, I rolled wrong.
That's all right.
I'm not used to this. I normally have a +9 to initiative.
And what did Kurayami get? So there it is, 15.
So now we wait for Jeanette to put in 8 other people into the combat track.
Hooray!
Poor Jeanette. She'll be okay.
It's fine.
While we're waiting, I give Vernitas some of the cheese that I was given.
Oh.
He
He
will,
loves his cheese.
he will eat it happily.
Isn't that the dodgy cheese? Didn't that make us sick?
No, that was the thing that unleashed the rat pox on us.
Yeah, you know.
Aiden doesn't know that.
Is this going to turn into like Ratatouille, where the rat's just going to start controlling patients?
I mean, what's the whistle of them? Actually, I've got the stats for a rat.
I like to think of cream rats are immune just because they're already a rat.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, the wisdom of a rat is 10. What's yours, patience?
Well, this is a cranium rat, so I think they're smarter.
Oh, yeah, they're smarter.
Well,
He's got
if it's
7
one
foot.
cranium rat, then it's as smart as a rat. If there's more of them, they're smarter.
So patience, what's your wisdom?
7.
It's got 11, so it's wiser than patience. So basically, you've just found your conscience. This is your Jiminy Cricket.
Well, I was being. He's stupid, but he's truthful. That he did say you might be smarter than me.
So, all right. So you guys see these people? They're about 30 feet away from you as you run up, and Kurayami does this, and you see this energy, and you see like 5 of them sort of turn in surprise at this. Claraefina, what do you want to do?
All right. I would like to cast something new. So I would like to cast Poison Spray.
Ooh.
Nice.
I love that spell.
Yeah, I've never used it before.
So you see, 4 of these individuals are like they're wearing robes, not armor, and then the other 4 are armored with weapons.
Okay, so I can only do that to one of them. Can I do that to whoever? So do I recognize anyone as being someone who would use magic, like a staff or anything?
Looking at them, you think that the robed figures look like they could possibly be spellcasters.
All right. So I would. Oh, I need to get closer. I just realized it's only 10 feet. So I would like to get 20 feet closer.
Okay.
And do it to the closest person to me.
All right, and that's a Constitution saving throw?
Yes, it is 13.
Oop, they will fail their Constitution saving throw as you run up and get in their face.
All right, 1d12 it is. Oh, that's disappointing, but I will take it.
Right.
And then I want to shout, "Let them go, and we can talk about this." By them, like let the slaves go, and we can talk about this.
They look at you and they're like, "No one interferes with the Xanathar's business."
Okay. And then I would like to turn into a jackal.
All right, so you.
Ooh. Jackal.
It's Jackal.
One time.
They look somewhat startled by this, like what? And then it is Kurayami's turn.
Okay. I'm going to run towards one of the guys I didn't fear, and I'm going to bat at him with my club.
Do you want to go toward one of the robed figures or one of the armored figures?
I'll go for one of the robed figures.
All right.
Just get rid of people, you know.
Just bash people's face.
Oh my goodness.
So you swing at this robed figure and he jumps back out of the way. I don't think so.
Can you not jump out of the way?
Oh, but I can.
Unbelievable.
All right, so then on their turn, the robed figure's turn, they have to, 2 of them have to attack random
Yeah.
people. All right, so
Just melee attacks. So.
Within range.
within range. So we've got the slaves, Kurayami, and one of their own. So I'll roll
We
a
didn't think
d3.
about the slaves.
Well, you know.
So the slaves are number 1, so I'm going to roll a d3.
But there's also the jackal.
Oh, no!
Not the slave. It's got Texas slave.
Yeah, so it
So you all just.
oops.
We were talking
Slave to
about
my
the
nature.
slave.
All right, so you see one of these robed figures pulls a dagger out and turns and stabs at one of the slaves and hits him.
Damn it.
And you see, it doesn't kill him, but he starts bleeding from the wound. And he's
Sorry,
like,
sir.
the one that got breathed in the face by the jackal now, he looks down at the jackal like, what? And he is going to so he is going to try and do a burning hands on you. And I believe I like having spellbook apps. Works.
He's a good little birdie. Who's like, you are. He's like scratching the nose, waiting for his initiative.
Yeah, Patience is distracted by his friend. All right, so one action, burning hands as a 15-foot cone. So he points a 15-foot cone in the direction of Kurayami and the jackal, and you guys have to make dexterity saving throws.
Right.
Oh, the rudest.
That is fairly rude.
See, Kuriyami's just mad because they jumped out of the way of her attack and she can't jump.
Right. All right. So let's see. You guys are going to take some fire damage from this.
Yeah,
Oh no.
I figured.
It's okay, you're a jackal.
All
I
right.
have very low hit points.
So 7 points of fire damage as this mage blasts you with his burning hand spell.
I pop back out and look, it's Claraefina all along.
That's what he was trying for. He just wanted to bring you back out. And as Claraefina pops back out, the second mage is going to stab at you with a dagger for a 15 to stab you.
Yeah.
For 3 more points of piercing damage to Claraefina.
All right.
The fourth mage-looking one is going to roll a d3, actually now a d4, because he's actually nearby Claraefina. And on a 1, it's a slave. On a 2, it's his friend. And a 3 or 4 is Claraefina or Kurayami. So d4. Oh, it's Kurayami.
All right.
That's fair.
So he
That's fair.
steps up with his dagger. He gets a 14.
That's my armor
All
class.
right. He stabs you with his dagger for 4 points of piercing damage.
All right.
Meanwhile, the other guards, 2 of them, one of them is free to act how he wants. So he assesses all of you, and he runs at Kalax, who looks like a rather imposing figure, drawing his spear as he does, and he's going to try to stab you with his spear. And he stabs with a 9 to hit and doesn't manage to hit Kalax, who gets out of the way. The other 3 guards, they weren't standing near the... they were standing near each other, but they're away from the slaves by a few steps. So they're going to... they attack someone who is next to them or somebody they can get to? All right, so they're going to attack each other because there's nobody else near them.
Oh.
So let's see. 1, yes. He does 2 piercing damage to his friend that's next to him. So the one that just got stabbed stabs the other one back, and he will not hit him. And then the third one will miss. So you see them just start stabbing at each other with their spears. So what happens at the end of their turn with your spell, Kurayami? Is it done? Or your ability?
No. At the start of my next turn, they have to make another wisdom saving throw because I'm maintaining concentration on it.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see how it goes.
Cool. All right, Patience. So you're talking to the rat as all this is happening. What do you want to do?
So who looks beat up? Like, did anybody get hurt very much? Or Elven Druid? How are you looking?
Not so good. Not so good.
I'm below half.
And I'm like a third.
No, well, there we go.
Who's all on her? Are there like 2 people on her? I know there was a mage that stabbed her, but...
There was a mage that stabbed her, and there was another mage that did a burning hand spell on both Kurayami and Claraefina.
So there's only one enemy really close to her,
Yes.
essentially. Okay. He's still gonna go into action and do like a unnecessary action roll that won't be an actual tumble. It'll just be part of his move
Gotcha.
because he's being stupid. And he casts Sacred Flame at this mage.
Ooh.
He says, "Over here with your toothpick." Trying to coax him over. Now, Sacred Flame, they gotta make a dex save.
All right, so dexterity saving throw. I have a 2.
8 radiant.
8 radiant damage. That really badly wounds this mage. He's like just sort of staggering on his feet and looks like scarred by this, like just singed by this power.
The cranium rat, I like to think he like put the cranium rat in between his two big mouse ears. And so he's like, he could hold on to my horns as like a way to steady or something
Mhm.
he needs to do.
All right, so after patience is Kalax.
So first of all, I'm gonna go over near Claraefina. But then I'm gonna cast Bless on her, on myself, and on Sunspot.
All right, what does Bless give him?
Yeah, I'm gonna put in chat.
Okay.
Trick. So you blast up to 3. You blast up to 3. Up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4, and that's the number rolled for that attack or saving throw. So when we and her and him make an attack, we can also add a d4 or a saving throw.
That's really cool.
And I should be able to maintain that up to 1 minute.
All right.
So around
Really cool. Thank you.
10 rounds.
That saving throw is going to help with all these spells.
All right, so
Yeah.
after Kalax, you see the Lady of Plagues, Melody. She runs up behind Claraefina and she casts a spell and touches Claraefina, and you see your skin like hardens, like it looks like it grows a spark-like condition. So your base AC is now at 16. So
Ooh.
you can't have lower AC than 16 as you get bark skin added to your. So
Does it
it'll
look cool?
yeah, like you like kind of harden up.
Wait, am I like partially bark skin with rat features?
Mhm.
Am I a rat tree?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah,
All right.
you may be having a slight identity crisis now.
My rats are the tree.
All right. So after that, Sunspot, what do you want to do?
Oh, I finally get to do something now.
Yes.
So he's going to run up to the one that Patience blasted in the face,
Okay.
and he's going to use one unarmed strike and punch him.
All right.
See if he can take him down.
Sounds good.
16.
That hits him. Oh yeah. So you punch him in the face and he crumples to the ground.
Okay. And then is there another mage close to that one?
Yeah, you have enough movement to get to the next one over, like the one that Claraefina sort of gassed in the face.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to run over and I'm going to spend my first key point and do flurry of blows and punch him twice.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to punch him once. Then if I can, Sunspot's going to do like a quick turn and let his rat tail whip this guy.
Okay.
Just for some flavor of it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
That definitely hits him.
Okay. So that one's 8 bludgeon damage.
Oh, he goes down.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
So now I still have this extra attack, so I don't think there's anyone else within range I can do
Yeah,
it.
there's one more. There's at least 2 more mages within range. You can just spin around with your
Well, then
tail.
I'm just going to rat tail whip this one, too.
All right. That
14?
hits. Yep.
5 bludgeon damage.
All right, he still stands, but you whip him across the side of the head. His head whiplashes away, and you see blood trickling out of the wound that you give him, where you whipped him with your tail. So after Sunspot tumbles in and starts taking people apart, the Rat King, she is going to... Let's see. So she draws an arrow and she aims down at this other mage that Sunspot just hit with his tail. And she's going to loose an arrow on this guy. That will hit. So she will do 6 points of damage to him. So he goes down. And then she turns an arrow on the other mage because she gets one more attack with her bow. But she will miss with her second arrow. And then it is Claraefina's turn again.
All right. So who are the people most around me?
So there is one more mage left that's about 10 feet away from you. The guards are further away. And there's... So you basically have that mage 10 feet away. The guards are about 15 feet from you.
And those are the guards that are fighting each other?
Yeah, there's a group that's just fighting each other.
All right. I would like to thank her for giving me barkskin, so sort of nod in her direction.
She will nod back to you.
Very appreciative. I would like to take 10 feet... Well, I would like to go 10 feet back because clearly Claraefina is a bit worried about getting hit despite the barkskin. And then I would like to cast Produce Flame at that mage, please.
Okay.
So that is, if I find the right tab, that is +5.
That actually hits him.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
I was worried I'd have to already use the bless. And then I am going to roll 1d8. Oh my word. Well, that was spectacular.
I like it.
And that was that.
All right, Kurayami, what do you want to do?
Well, I am going to... There's only one mage left, right?
There's one robed figure left, and then the 4 guards are still... There's 3 of them doing a Three Stooges show.
And how far away are the guards?
The guards are about 15 feet from where you guys were amongst the mages.
Okay. I'm going to take a great club swing, sort of pointing... Like, the mage is in between me and the guards.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do that. Let's see how it goes. Come on. Oh.
So that hits the mage.
Okay. And I'm going to spend a psi point to make a strength saving throw as well.
Ooh.
Are you, like, golfing this
Yes.
person?
Well, I got a 3.
Okay. He is knocked back 10 feet over to them.
All right, you just see this guy slide in amongst his guards.
Can I spend 2 psi points? Because it's 10 feet for each psi point you use.
Sure.
So can I knock him 20 feet into them?
Yep, so now he's amongst this whole crew of guards.
Oh boy. Okay, and he also is going to take the damage from the Great Club. So 6 bludgeoning damage.
He's still alive, barely, but he's still alive after all of that. Is Kurayami done? Oh, they have to maintain their...
Right. They all have to make wisdom saving throws again.
All right, so there's one mage still affected. So let's see. Oh, he's still under it. And then 3 of the guards. So 1, he'll make it. 2, he'll fail it. And so only one of them comes out of it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So 2 of them just want to run away. One of them attacks random creature.
All right, so that would be... Oh, you need one more, because... No, that's fine. Nope, the mage... So the mage, on his turn, he turns and runs.
All right.
Then one of the other guards turns and runs, so they're running away. And then the other one, since he's amongst his comrades, he will attack. But he will miss the guard. Then there's one that's fighting with Kalax, so he will attack Kalax. but will miss Kalax. And then the other guard will move away from his comrade to try and come at Kurayami, who seems to be doing a lot of damage. So he runs up with his spear, and he gets a 17 to hit you.
Yikes! Yeah, that hits.
Ooh, 8 piercing damage to Kurayami.
Okay.
All right, so then, Patience, what do you want to do?
Okay, so this is turned into utter chaos. I thought they were all together when he knocked the mage into them. So 2 of them are still together. One guard went one way that made the save, and the mage went another way.
Well, no. Now, there's a guard fighting Kalax, a guard fighting Kurayami, a guard running away, a guard standing there looking around confused, and a mage running away. So they're all everywhere now. It's chaos.
Yeah.
He's upset because the enemies aren't within 5 feet of each other. That's kind of his jam.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes up to the one that's with Kalax, and he swings with his quarterstaff two-handed, and a green flame erupts from it.
Green flame.
It's going to be all for like show because there's no other enemies within range.
All right, so you swing at the guard, but that will miss. As he made it. Go ahead.
Would I have been able to flank?
Oh yeah, so you can roll with advantage. So 16 will actually just hit him.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. That's about right.
All right. So after Patience, Kalax, you and Patience are now flanking this guard. So you have advantage to attack him.
Oh, sorry, I was. That's exactly what I'm going to do then. Great swords. 20.
Yes,
He hits
it does.
for 30.
All right, let's see. So Patience jumps forward and slashes at him, and then as he falls towards Kalax, you just stab him through the chest and pull your sword out, and he goes down.
Wow.
God.
All right, so after Kalax, all right, the Lady of Plagues, she is going to, she runs over now, she moves to Kurayami, and she casts a Cure Wounds spell on you.
Thank you so much. I was at 1 HP. Jesus.
All right, so you are going to get back, it's going to be a D8 plus 2. So let's see. So you get, 9 hit points back. Yep, as she casts a cure spell on you. She saw that you were not looking well.
Thank you very much, Lady
Keep her
Plagues.
around. She's
Cool lady.
All right, so after she does that, Sunspot, you look around, and there is just one more mage left standing nearby.
Okay. Is there anybody else?
There are still 3 guards, or actually,
There's still just the one guard.
there's 2 guards. One is standing looking confused. One guard has run away. And actually the other mage ran. So yeah, there's 2 guards. One is in front of Kurayami, and one is standing there looking confused, like he doesn't know what he's going to do.
I'm just going to go for the one on Kurayami then.
Okay.
And can I move to flank as well?
Sure.
Is that a thing I can do? Okay.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to just do 2 unarmed strikes. I'm not going to use any key points this time. Because I only get 2 of those.
Oh no.
So first one.
Oh yes, that will hit this guy.
For 6 bludgeon damage.
All right, he's still up.
And then second one. 21.
Ooh.
I didn't even need advantage on this. For 8.
So you, Kurayami, you look as Sunspot comes up behind this guy and just both hands on either side of his head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's just gonna do like the
Yikes.
And this guy drops like a rock on the ground and sprawls. His spear just clatters away and rolls
Really
away.
spotted his weak point. Jeez.
Always aim for the head. Always aim for the head.
And you see the Rat King knocks another arrow and shoots toward this last confused looking guard. Oh, she'll miss. but she gets she misses on both of her arrows. She curses like angrily.
Come on, Rat King.
You see her put the bow down and draw her sword and start marching down the street toward this guy. And then it is Claraefina's turn.
That looks really badass. So, how far is the nearest guy away from me?
He's like still 15 feet from you. He's just standing. He's the only guy left, and he's just sort of standing there looking like.
Well, let's heat him up a little, and I'm gonna throw fire his way because fire is cool.
It's actually hot, but
so that's that. What is that? Can I use bless to?
No,
no, dang it.
Sorry.
I was
I have a feeling that I've used one of my 2 slots of magic for nothing. But anyway.
Oh,
it would have.
I mean, it's good to have.
Yeah.
So Claraefina lobs her fire at him, and she sees that it doesn't really seem to have an impact. So she's kind of looking at her hand, like, is it broken? What's going on? And that's that.
All right.
Actually, before I do that, is anyone else looking a bit sorry for themselves? Do you guys? Does anyone need any help? All right, that's Claraefina.
All right. Kurayami.
Scott, do you want to say something?
I think someone's be taking elemental adept when that comes. That's all.
Definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna. There's only the one guy left, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just gonna run up and hit him.
You brain him with the club, and he like. He's still standing there, like the whole side of his head is bloody, and he just looks at you like.
Can I use a side point to give myself some extra damage?
Okay, I don't know. Can you use
It's my last one.
Yeah, if you happen to use it, you can try to use it to give some extra damage.
Five more bludgeon.
Yeah, so you, with the strength of your mind, you just blast him off his feet out of that. Like, it looks like you hit him, and it's like all of a sudden he's like, and he just goes over and falls down. And you
Thanks
see.
for warming him up for me, Claraefina.
Happy to help. My little help.
So the Rat King walks over and starts ungagging these people and looks at you, the rest of you, and she nods. She's like, "You're all very capable. Thank you so much for your help with this." And she starts kind of untying people. And then the Lady of Plagues comes over to you all, and she has a satchel. And she holds it up and she says, there's a cure in these vials for this poison that's been spread. I regret creating this plague. I regret that it was used as a weapon against these people. And she hands you guys the satchel. And so they untie these people. And you guys see as they're untying them, you do see, and it's only because the cranium rat that Patience is holding squeaks. You see one single cranium rat kind of up the street around a corner, just sort of looking at you, and then when it sees you notice it, it scurries out of sight and runs.
How far away?
It was like 60 feet up the road. Like, you just saw it just looking.
Guess what? That's perfect.
Ooh, what do you got?
I snap my finger, Sacred Flame.
Oh, let me make a Let's see if he can get away. All right, dexterity?
Yep, as always.
You got a 15.
I'm just not good at burning around.
Damn it.
Yeah, so you... So,
I could try something too, maybe.
all right, I'll give you one thing you could try.
Go for it.
60 feet.
Okay, so I can move 45 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna like close the distance, and then I'm gonna chuck a dart at it.
Okay.
Try and just wound it.
All right, so as it tries to turn and disappear down this alleyway.
I never use darts, so I'm probably gonna fail at this.
I also want to do something if it
Ooh.
fails.
Does that hit?
That you hit the cranium rat, even though it has a little cover from this corner.
What better projectile to use on rats?
And you just hear a little squeal, and you see it slump over, and it doesn't get away.
Oh, well.
Sunspot's gonna turn around and go, I'm the master of the cranium rats.
Don't worry about that, Druid.
So, once they free these people and they kind of see to them that their needs are met, you have these vials in hand, and Melody and Katarina come over to you, and they are holding hands and look at each other, and they say, we've decided that we think we're going to retire from our individual lines of work and spend some time with each other. And that means that if anyone is interested, the Dock Ward still needs a protector, and there always needs to be a rat king amongst the Dock Ward. And the Lady of Plagues, Melody, will look at Claraefina and say, and even though some of what poisons and diseases can do is dangerous, the world needs people who know how they work. If you were interested, I would like to teach someone what I do, so that when things like this happen, there are people prepared to deal with it.
I would be honored.
Then maybe you yourself can be a Lady of Plagues once you have trained.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, I've seen what you can do. And if nothing else, I think that you have the right idea that if you can't cure it and you can't do anything about it, burning it out with fire is always a good idea. And then Katarina looks at the rest of you and she says, do any of you feel that you could step up and defend this district and protect it in my stay?
Looks over at Kalax.
I have somewhere to go. Actually, I'm not staying in town.
That is all right. I can find someone if no one else wants to fill the role.
Sunspot will pull out the panpipes she gave him and say, well, I mean, I already know how to get in there. And I'm pretty good at fighting some cranium rats.
She smiles at you and she says, then we have much to talk about, Sunspot. So, once you make your arrangements with the ladies and you plan to meet them later, you are free to now take your cure and go back to the captain and bring her this cure that you found. And she is waiting in her office where you last saw her in the morning when you arrive. So you all come back to the watch's office, and you see her standing at the window where you saw Locke standing first thing in the morning, and she turns when you come in, and she says, "Oh my goodness," she says, "you've all been afflicted by this disease."
Yeah.
Yes, but we do have no other cure. It's cure.
That's wonderful. She looks amongst you, but where's Locks?
Well, he
vanished.
he felt he was called to a higher cause, and he disappeared. But he left behind the hat.
He left so quickly. There's just nothing but dust.
And the hat.
He
And
left.
the coat.
What? Why would he?
All the other things.
I can't believe he would just leave he was so keen on becoming a detective in the watch.
It wasn't voluntary.
Well, at least we can. You say you found a cure for this rat pox.
Yes.
Yeah, then sure.
Well, at least we can take this and mass produce a cure. She looks through it and she hands you back a couple of vials. She says, I think each of you should take a dose, as you are all afflicted by this.
I kind of like these whiskers, though.
Claraefina, do you want to make me another saving throw?
Just drink.
Yeah, I mean, the rat king should probably have a rat tail, but I don't want to turn into a rat, so go ahead and drink
I'd
it.
rather wild shape into rats, so I'll drink it.
All right, so you give her the cure. They will take it and they're going to mass produce it. So you have, in fact, been able to save the Dock Ward from this horrible affliction. and a few of you have now taken on some new roles within the city. So why don't we, as we see this adventure closing out, what do you see? We'll go around. We'll start with Kurayami. In the immediate future after this, what does Kurayami move on to do?
Well, Kurayami goes back to what she has been doing. She was kind of lured to this city by strange visions, and she's not really that quick to try and figure them out. So she just goes back to looking for any, interesting story that she can latch onto and be a part of. She's like, oh, yes. And she probably writes, some sort of play or ballad about this little rat pox incident and starts performing it around town.
Cool. All right, Kalax, what happens in Kalax's near future from this?
Yeah, so he actually felt good about being good, being helping people and all, but he's still not sure if the path of the law is actually one to follow. So he'll try to find that out. And so he's gonna go back to his old tribe that had all been who had been all attacked and murdered, and there he'll finally take his oath, the oath of vengeance, and that's his path.
All right.
Which, as I said, he's actually leaving town.
All right.
But still being good, but now as an angel of vengeance.
Nice. Claraefina.
Well, it's a bit of a weird one because Claraefina kind of came to the town because she'd heard of mysterious things and mysteries are her thing. And she's been traveling for a while and she's been just sort of going around mapping out the world because she loves maps and doing all of that. But she kind of feels like that maybe it's worth staying here for a little while. I mean, the town still needs a lot of healing and a lot of help, and there's a lot that needs to be done. And I feel like, she feels like there's a lot that she can contribute. So for the time being, she'll definitely see her spot just helping the citizens, helping restore everything that's been sliding because of the maps. Everything sort of just put it back to a good place.
Okay. And Patience.
I gotta ask for this one. Are we effectively level 3 after this? Right?
Yeah, effectively you would be level 3 very soon after this.
Okay. Patience probably like sitting at the dock, not really sure what to do after this. And he's just like, looking at his new cranium rat friend. That Xanathar seems pretty evil. Maybe I could do something about that. And as he thinks that, he feels the presence of his patron, and in his hand that doesn't have the cranium rat is an angelic-looking greatsword. And it's like, wow, sweet. So he's going to try to pursue the Xanathar. Obviously find more people. Probably try to get his allies that he already has. But who knows?
Okay.
Claraefina might be up for it. So just come knocking.
And Sunspot.
Well, Sunspot is going to spend however long it takes learning from Katarina what it takes and what's needed to be the new Rat King and protector of the docks. And since his whole point of him leaving his village and going out in the world was to learn how to be a fighter and a protector, this is pretty much right up his alley. So he's going to take his job very seriously, maybe help out Patience take down the Xanathar, get like a little punch-in action going on, and stick around for a while, protect part of Waterdeep.
All right, and
the Rat King.
Yeah. And you do know that Katarina and Melody, they retire once they give you each the knowledge that you need to move on and take on these roles. And they take up residence in the house that Captain Brisby raised Katarina in. And so they stay in Dock Ward because even though they no longer have these official roles, they want to still protect the people and kind of be there as guides for you who are going to now step up and protect and save the community that they have loved and that they want to protect. So, on that, you have helped the city of Waterdeep in a time of need. You are all true heroes at this point, moving on and living these lives of yours. And we will close out our adventure of Rats of Waterdeep. So this was a ton of fun. Lysa, Chen, and Doyle were a really fun adventure. I love the aspects of the detective story and stuff like that. Does anybody have any real fun? What was a real fun part for you guys that you found in this?
Also, for the record, Sunspot still has the hat, and he randomly will keep narrating everything he sees.
I love the narration, like the good old noir theme, and just the way that's done. And I loved you mouthing along to that Sunspot. That was amazing. I think that was probably
I had to.
I know, but that was just the first time we did. It was so unexpected, and you just kept up with it, and I just loved that. But I think Lox is probably. I wasn't expecting a character like Lox in this adventure, and I think every time Lox popped up, it was a really pleasant surprise.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with Joy?
Kurayami kept her.
I think she woke up as we were in the sewer, so she was awake that whole fight, just stop moving so much.
I like to think Patience and Kalax are just took her to the jail, just threw her in a cage or something.
Yeah. I did not kill her in the end.
I'm still actually a little bit confused about what Joy's actual thing was. First of all, is there a doctor? Second of all, what does she do? I mean, she clearly knew about the cultists down below. What did the cultists know? Who were they?
I think they were with the Lady of Plagues, her henchmen.
Yeah.
So what's Joy's actual involvement? I think we never
She's
really
just
got...
a receptionist.
So as an epilogue to it, you finally confront Joy, and Melody eventually tells you in truth that Joy was hired by her to protect her interests. She's a skilled assassin, and she wanted to make sure that her interests were protected even when she wasn't there. So she enlisted Joy as an employee of the doctor's
Definitely
office.
has the sass part down.
Mm-hmm.
However, so her name was Real Joy, or just in nickname.
Oh no, my name is actually Joy. I'm a happy person. So
Right.
So I'm also curious of if we didn't let Lox go to dust, how would he have been helping throughout the time?
who knows?
Who knows?
Was that actually a thing that was destined to happen, that he was going to die?
I think he helped from beyond the exact same help he was going to give if he didn't get disintegrated.
To be fair, once I put on the hat, I rarely miss attacks.
Yeah?
So all right. So with that, we have successfully completed this adventure. So let's do. Dylan, do you have any shout-outs, things you have to talk about?
Well, Tuesday, this channel, Call of Cthulhu, really fun. It might be the end because we're fighting a vampire and it's probably gonna be nasty. Thursday on the Greyhawk channel at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm in Secrets of Castle Greyhawk. We got really drunk last time, and we might have lost our baby white dragon in the big city, and might have turned a dead elf into a spore zombie. There's a lot of stuff. Let me see. Next Sunday, I do believe I'm going to be guesting on Dungeon Academy. It's on Power Square RPG at 6:30 p.m. So yeah, come visit me there.
Nice. All right, Genli, do you have anything you want to shout out about for this week?
Let me see. So every Monday I'm gonna play. I play Sea Elf on Octavo Road to channel, and you can follow me on Twitter at GamelyI_. To see where I will be, but that should be it. Yeah, every Monday. So that means tomorrow.
All right, awesome. And Kat, how about you?
I don't really have anything. Most of the other games I play are on stream, so I could tell you about all the fun games that I'm playing, but you can't see them, so it's that's my problem really. Yeah, I don't really have anything except random thing. If you guys haven't tried Savage Worlds, you should try Savage Worlds. It's my latest favorite RPG game.
Nice.
But that's it really.
Awesome. And how about you, Scott?
Okay, so I still need to talk with Dylan about this. He may or may not be guesting on my Retroverse games that are Friday on my Twitch channel, Scotty_Y_H00D. It's like you know, like the Miami Vice kind of theme where you got like the grid lines and the vector mountain in the background and the sunset and the palm trees and all that. It's kind of got that setting mixed with like Saturday morning cartoons and Dungeons and Dragons. So they're dealing with this legendary laser dragon right now, and it's going very Power Ranger-y. So we'll see where that goes. But if you want to see that, that's Fridays 7:00 Eastern Standard Time on my channel.
Awesome. And Jamey.
Well, on this channel on Tuesday, I will also be trying to kill a vampire. We may all end up dying. Who knows? It's going to be a lot of fun. And other than that, I'm potentially in another game that's going to be streamed, but the details aren't really out there yet of like what time, how long it's going to be, anything like that. But if you follow me on Twitter, I'm sure you'll see some updates.
Excellent. So, and if you like this game and you want to run it for a group, you can find it on the DMs Guild. It's by Lysa, Chen, and Doyle. You can find Lysa. She does a podcast called Behold Her, and it's really awesome. And Will has a blog, Beholder Pie. So check out their stuff. It's really great. They do a lot of good content for D&D and a lot of good stuff for the community. So thank you for letting us play this, Lysa. We appreciate it. Thanks for being in chat.
Yes,
And thank you to all you guys for playing. For 2 weeks from now, I'm working on what I want to do next. I'll probably put out feelers for who wants to play. But we'll be doing something D&D 5e related in 2 weeks here. And then, of course, Tuesday, Call of Cthulhu. And Scott looks like he wants to say something.
I was about to say, I forgot something.
Oh, go ahead.
So you probably noticed, I just noticed that you actually did do a deal.
I was going to get there.
You see that drawing of that tiefling boy over there with the glowing runes on his forehead? I did that. If you want me to do that, just hit me up on Twitter.
Yes, Scott will draw character art for you. He's drawing character art for my friends' characters that I run a game for at home. So definitely hit up Scott's Twitter and ask him about artwork because he does a great job.
Drawing my Triton Sorceress, and I love every time he does.
So definitely. But yep, so I will put feelers out probably on Twitter about what I want to do next. I'm probably going to start posting it tomorrow. So keep an eye out, people. And thank you for watching us, and check us out on YouTube when we put it up. And thank you guys for playing. You guys were so much fun. I loved it. You guys were a great group of players. And so we are going to say goodnight and have a great week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen.